Welcome to Open Hearts Book Club. I'm your co-host Steph.
And I'm your other co-host, Sadi. And this month, for our book club pick of the month, we read Bride by Ali Hazelwood.
We sure did. So we're going to start off the format of this video as we always do. I'll be doing a spoiler-free, quick just summary of the book. You can listen to that, kind of decide if that's something that you want to read. You pause the video, come back later because you love us so much and you gotta. And then we'll get into the summary-filled sort of review, and then also our overall thoughts about the book. So I'll do a little summary, and then if you don't want any spoilers, I would encourage you to stop the video at that point. So to get into that spoiler-free summary.
What's this book about? What's this book about?
So the book starts off with Misery, who is a vampire, and Lo, who is a werewolf. And in this world, humans, werewolves, and vampires all coexist, but there's definitely long-standing tension between the species. The vampires and humans have been allied for quite a while at this point, and that's because they have this collateral system in place where basically a high-value vampire, a high-value woman,
I'm a high-value vampire.
a high-value woman, a high-value vampire goes into the allied human territory and lives there, and the same thing vice versa with a high-value human coming into the vampire territory and living there. All that's to, ensure that if something goes awry, humans start attacking vampires. They're like, cool, we're killing the human collateral then. So that's been happening for years and years and years. Misery is the vampire collateral that has been living on the human side because Misery's father is the head of the vampire nest, and her time as a collateral is coming to an end. And lo and behold, her father summons her and tells her, hey, I know your time as a collateral is coming to an end, but surprise, you're gonna marry the alpha werewolf for a year. And this is because historically the human governor has had this allyship with the vampires. They have this collateral system in place. The humans now have a new governor, and she doesn't want to have anything to do with the vampires. She doesn't even want to meet with Misery's dad. She is meeting with the werewolves, though, so Misery's dad is very nervous that they are going to form an allyship, and then the vampires will be in trouble, because there's not a lot of vampires, and they had some safety in allying with the humans just out of sheer number. And the vampires and werewolves have had beef, generations-long beef.
Beefy.
So it's very worrying, which is why they're doing this political marriage of sorts. Of Misery is going to go marry Lo, who is the alpha of the werewolf pack, and they're going to send over a werewolf that will marry Misery's twin brother, Owen.
Won't marry.
Well, no, marry.
No? They don't have to marry each other. Yeah.
Are we sure about that?
I'm 100% sure about this.
We're fact-checking this later.
I'm so sure about this because I reread to make sure that what was the exchange.
Interesting. So
and
it's
just she just has to stay there for a year.
Okay.
She does not have to marry anybody from the vampires.
Well, that makes no sense. Anyway. So this is happening, and at first Misery is obviously very averse to this idea. She's like, I've given up so much of my life being collateral. All these vampires hate me for it. I just want to live my life. I don't want to do another collateral exchange, essentially. Until she finds out the name of the alpha, who is Lo Moreland. And this is really exciting for her.
We'll get into why that matters to her.
He might be connected to her missing friend Serena, who has been missing for a month. So with this in mind, she's deciding for her own gain, she will agree to this marriage with him. And from there, mystery unravels and romance ensues, and we have the book. How did you feel about the... Stop here if you don't want spoilers, because we're going to get into our thoughts and feelings about it.
And there will be spoilers. I also want to give the caveat that if you loved this book, and if you were a big Ali Hazelwood fan, I think you're allowed to like what you like, and I think other people are allowed to not like what they like, and I did not like this book. I didn't like this book.
I think I have a little bit of a kinder eye towards it than you, but yeah.
I think perhaps so. Where do I start? For me,
what's your rating?
My rating is maybe a 2.
Okay, that's
a
not
2,
that bad.
1.5. I don't think it was like the worst book on earth.
Yeah, did it murder your family?
No, it did not murder my family. And there's some books out there that feel like they did. The way that some authors write characters as if they had like gone out and killed their dog That's how I feel about some books.
Yeah.
But with this one, what I want to say is that I was not the right person for this.
Sure.
To like really love a romance novel, you kind of have to love the character and that main couple. That's what
Mhm.
drives it. That's why we really liked A Lady for a Duke, in spite of the many flaws that we saw in the book. We still really like those two main characters.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bleep this. Hate Misery Lark. If Misery Lark has no haters, I'm dead. She is just the most woe is me, Mary Sue, victim trauma, porn complex character.
I mean, her name is Misery.
Her name is Misery, and her brother's name is Owen. And we'll get into that, because that, to me, the author's hand shows so much in this novel.
Yeah.
It shows so much. None of it feels realistic. And every single time she talks about her past or her trauma, it feels honestly cartoonish. And it just sets me up to really not love her. Also,
Yeah.
down to the plot, too. A lot of the world building in this doesn't make sense. Again, it's a romance novel, so you don't need to like tell me the entire politics of everything that's happening.
Yeah.
But even on a surface level, I'm questioning just the collateral system and like how people view that system. I so confused, and we'll get into it.
Yeah.
So much of it doesn't work for me. The main character I didn't like, the romance I didn't like, the writing of the romance was really cringy to me, and the world in general was not for me. My takeaway, honestly, is that I might have to read a different Ali Hazelwood novel, because I can't get a measure of whether or not I like her books.
Yeah.
Because I really did not like this one.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
How about you?
Yeah, for me, I gave it a 3 out of 5. I liked this one more than I liked A Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea. So that's where my 3 kind of comes from. But I do agree with a lot of what you said. There is a fan fictionication of this book where it's like, I'm reading this and it very much so reads as a fan fiction that I would have written when I was 13 years old, of like, let me make every bad possible thing that could happen to the main character happen to have her be pitied and therefore liked. The YN-ification of Misery is definitely there.
I'm Ebony Darkness Raven.
Yes, with my red-tipped hair and that is one of the points that I wrote of like, there's just so much that happens to Misery, of like, she lives in the human side as collateral, and there's so many assassination attempts on her from humans who hate vampires, and then she's given up as collateral basically immediately again in this marriage, and now she's living in enemy territory. It's not even allied territory, with a bunch of people who hate her, and all of the vampires also hate her, so no one likes her.
Which is a theme of this novel.
And then she's kidnapped, and there's just too much. There's too much going on with her, for sure. I think for me, why I'm not as hard on it is because I am, even written how it's written, I am a sucker for werewolf vampire books. And if you throw them together, come on.
You know, you're touching on something though, where like this book has a lot of stuff that I should enjoy. I love an arranged marriage trope. We love supernatural sort of romances, and so this should have been so good to me.
But I get,
like, I get why you're like, this was charming to me.
Yeah. I really like a fated mate situation too. I when it's done well,
Sure,
it's really, really good. This, however, did not do it very well. The romance, to your point, didn't feel good, and I feel like it's because this novel relied too heavily on it being a mate situation, where it's like all of Lo's affections for Misery, outside of her like random quirks of eating peanut butter, seem to stem from the fact that he is tied to her. Like, there's no actual reason for him liking her other than the mate aspect, which I didn't care for. I want him to like her, sure, not in spite, I guess, of their being mates, but
like if you removed that fated mate part, would he still want to be with her, or would she just be a roommate that he ignores for a year?
Exactly.
How much of that influences their romance?
Exactly.
And in this book, I see what you're saying, where
it seems like it influences him a lot.
Yeah.
Because again, other than like, she has these little quirks that he finds endearing, and she seems to have some level of compassion. That's kind of the only thing that I grabbed onto as for why he liked her.
There were so many times where everyone else had to be a moron in order for Misery to seem smart. And again, the author's hand is showing.
Right.
But like that compassion again of she's so kind, and it's
despite
because
everything that happened to her.
and one, it's very minimal, and then two, in service of her being kind, everyone else had to be insane.
Yeah.
So I get that's maybe why Lo likes her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care for him either.
Oh no. I care for him less, I think, than I care for her.
Oh yeah. Also, why'd they give him a buzz cut?
Why'd they give him a buzz cut? I'm so mad. Ali Hazelwood, how could you do this?
A buzz cut?
Werewolf with a buzz cut. What are we doing?
What are we doing? Or like he should have grown his hair out at least a little bit.
Make him look.
Buzz it every month at the beginning, and it grows by the end.
Do the typical trope of he comes to the wedding and he looks ass. His hair is grown out crazy. Can't see his face. Misery's like, he's ugly. And then he cuts his hair and he's beautiful, actually.
God, if only. Like yeah, we'll get into the wedding and stuff. But that was overall my thoughts towards it. And I'm probably, because I'm the one doing the synopsis, I apologize again if you loved this book. It's going to be very biased.
We have hater energy, and that's something that everyone's going to need to accept or not watch.
I like to think that it's more fun that way.
Yeah.
And again, I do this all the time. When I see reviews of books that I know I love that I can't handle hearing negative stuff about, I just go past it. Yeah. Check out our Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea review. That's hater energy, and you probably will be okay with that. Awesome, let's get into it, baby. You covered a lot in your summary, which is awesome, so we could skip a lot of this.
Oh, no.
But basically, the beginning here, I want to just say this at the top. A lot of this novel goes back and forth between the present situation and flashbacks. Sometimes it does it well, sometimes it does it in a very confusing way. But just for the sake of brevity and making things more concise, I am just going to say them right at the top, and then they'll apply later on in the story. So the first thing we know, and it starts off on Misery's wedding day. She's betrothed to the alpha of the were pack, and she has not met him prior to the wedding, and it's a big point of frustration for her.
Because he's busy?
He's too busy to meet the woman he's going to marry. But it's like not a real marriage, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I guess.
And we get a huge backstory info dump while she's getting ready for her wedding. In order to keep things sort of peaceful, humans are in charge of the entire wedding, and just the wedding guests are vampires and wares. So the human makeup artist decides to put green paint on her because in this world, werewolves have green blood. Vampires have purple blood, and humans have a red blood.
Classic.
Like, when I heard that, do you remember those ketchups from the 90s? That's immediately what I thought. I was like, oh.
Also, that's crazy to be like, werewolf's blood is green, let's put green on you, as if you have werewolf blood on you for your wedding to a werewolf.
I'm weird. First of all, yeah, you're right. That's insane. Later we get an explanation that it is actually kind of a ritualistic thing with wares because it symbolizes the scent points on their body.
Oh, yeah.
It's weird. But in that moment, this human is just saying, I Wikipedia'd it, essentially. And it seems like this is a thing that werewolves do. However, this novel makes such a point about the fact that none of the species knows anything anatomically about the rest. So it's like, this is the one piece of information you were able to find. You couldn't find out nodding on the internet. This book has nodding in it. Anyways, we get huge backstory info dump. Misery's getting a little makeup on her throat. Her brother, Owen, comes in, and he's about to take her to the ceremony. They have human security detail, and they refer to Misery as the bat is flying, and the wolf is on his way.
Why do they have human security detail?
Because they can't trust... I don't know why the vampires don't just have vampire security detail.
Because, I'm sorry, a human between a vampire or a werewolf that's not security at all.
Well, the human security detail is there so that Misery can go, humans are so dumb. Humans are so stupid.
And I'm agreeing in this case, because why do we have them here?
No, what's really stupid, and I don't think this is a human thing, I think this is the author thing. The reason that you use code names in security details is so that you don't know who people are referring to. If you're going to call the vampire a bat and the wolf, then I don't think you're doing your job in terms of being ambiguous about who's on the...
Why are we doing this?
Okay, it's actually dumb. So Owen, her brother, and I don't... This is the author's hand showing, where she wants the sibling to be another person that bullies Misery, but but also he's a good guy. So in this moment, Owen is making snide remarks about her marrying a wolf. Are you going to last even a day married to him? And then right before their father shows up, Owen's about to say something like, if you had only waited one more month, I could have, and then it goes away. And Misery just goes, that's weird. That's a weird thing to say. La-di-da. I guess I'm getting married today. And her father is there. And her father absolutely sucks. He is mustache twirling villain right from the get-go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
There was no question about it.
No.
He shows up. He says a lot of weirdly evil things. And then the whole book, people are going, I wonder who's behind all the stuff that's happening.
I wonder.
Oh my God. Yeah, he shows up and he's having a really snarky exchange with Misery.
Yeah. Who's like doing him a favor.
Who's doing him a favor.
By going as collateral.
And we're getting backstory from his point of view. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about the conflict, but we really get into it later. But like you had said, werewolves, vampires, humans have all lived on the same planet together, but not in harmony and peace. There have been multiple instances throughout histories where two of them may have had an alliance, but never all three of them were ever at peace. Mm-hmm. And then the last time they tried to have a marriage alliance between wolves and vampires, because there have been historically moments where they were at peace, but they have always done that through a marriage alliance. Somebody from the vamps marries one of the weres, and I guess it's okay. It kind of works out. But the last confrontation is called the Aster, where in the middle of the wedding, the werewolves decide to kill all the vampires. And so much vampire blood was spilled, and it was purple, and there was a little bit of green. So it's like Aster the flower.
What a beautiful thing to call a bloodbath.
I know. And they call it the sixth wedding.
Yeah. Well, because there's like 5 weddings prior to it that were fine, and then all of a sudden...
Yeah, that's
never
the
mind.
6th one. Never mind. It's... The way that she does this backstory info dump, I don't know, not for me.
Yeah. Or if you're going to give me this lore, give me more of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Make it make more sense to me. Why did this one specifically... Why did this happen?
And we find out later that there was sabotage. Well, Misery doesn't like her race. She doesn't like anybody ever in the entire planet.
Yeah.
And a big theme of this novel, Lowe even explicitly states it because that's the kind of book this is that Misery has no one in this world. No one cares about her except for maybe one person, and
her
she
brother.
belongs to nothing.
And Serena.
Yeah, she doesn't think her brother cares about her. We know he does because it's obvious to everybody.
Yeah.
But she doesn't think so. So her dad is there. He's being kind of a dick to her. And then he walks her down the aisle. One side wears, one side vampires. And it's so funny because the trauma porn has already started for Misery. She's looking at the vampires and she's thinking about the fact that none of them ever accepted her. None of them ever wanted her.
I wanted to talk about this actually because there's like a whole thing about how the vampires hate her for going as collateral, and I go, why? Because this is something y'all do all the time, and isn't it good for you for her to be over there as collateral? So why do you hate her and treat her as a traitor?
Okay, I want to get into that now then.
Okay.
So Misery has a hard time with the vampires because when she was a child, before she was even the collateral, they were already bullying her. And the reason they're bullying her is like, I guess their reasoning is, you werewolf whore. How can, or not werewolf, sorry.
Vampire.
You human whore.
Oh.
You're betraying the vampires and you're going to the humans, which is weird because, like you said, the collateral system has been in place for, I think, 100 years now or so. She's the 11th collateral. So does this happen to each one of them? And then she comes back when she's 18, and when she comes back, they're even meaner to her because they think that she's been betraying them and being whatever. But then the next collateral shows up and this kid goes, it's an honor to be collateral. So he doesn't have any of the same impression that she does.
Yeah.
It makes no sense to me because what I would assume, rather than them treating her like she's betraying them because it's something that she was volunteered for and somebody has to do it.
Right.
Instead, it's just no one wanted to get to know her because they knew she wasn't going to be there.
Right.
That makes more sense to me of her. She was just ignored.
Right.
Versus blatantly bullied. And it's so comical. Like they're throwing garbage at her. They're shoving her into lockers and they're giving her noogies.
Yeah.
It's cartoonish.
Or for me, it's also, we find out later how very cutthroat it is to be a vampire and how to get into power, if you're not already in power, you basically have to like usurp someone and kill them So wouldn't it make more sense to be like, your dad has killed so many of our different family members to get where he is, and that's why we don't like you,
Right.
or something to that effect. But to be like, oh, you're the human collateral, so
Whatever. When she comes back too, they treat her like a pariah because, like I said, they think that she's been sleeping around with humans. It should just be, we lived an entire life without you.
we don't care.
We don't care. We're a very insular group of people.
Yeah,
Unless you grew up alongside of us, we're not going to make the effort to make you feel welcome.
totally.
That just feels more realistic. But Ali Hazelwood has to be cartoonish in making it so that you go, oh, poor Misery.
Yeah.
I feel so sad for her. So yeah, everyone on her side of the aisle doesn't even really want to be there because nobody likes her, because actually Misery is so good and they can't see it. The Wares hate her because she's a vampire. And I wrote down, no one on her side likes her. No one on his side likes her. No one likes her. I don't like her.
I was gonna say, it seems like we're good on the amount of Misery haters.
Oh my god. So yeah, the Were Alpha is up front at the altar, and she's walking up to him.
And
he
has
makes
a buzz
eye
cut.
He's,
I'm sorry.
in what world do you ever want your romance hero to have a buzz cut? Okay. He makes eye contact with her, and immediately something's up. He's staring at her. His eyes are blown out. They're shot. I'm imagining Jasper from Twilight just. but she makes a comment because everyone's starting to get really confused. People are like hissing at each other and, I don't know, barking at each other. She goes, "We don't want another Aster, do we?" He grabs her arm. She's quirky, so she stumbles, and then he takes her body and pushes it against the altar and then pushes his body up against it. And even the priest is like, oh my. And the next sentence, after all this happens, oh, and then he goes, how the do you smell like this? And the next sentence is, and then I was married to
Girl, you smell crazy.
If you're not familiar with alpha, omega type of stories, scent is, in vampire stories too, I think. Scent is such a big part of it. It was just so ridiculous how unable to control himself this man is. And throughout the novel, we get a lot of stuff about him. You know that scene in Twilight? When Bella walks into the room and Edward immediately goes, oh. He does that so often, and just like Bella, she keeps assuming she smells bad.
Me.
Yeah. She takes so many bads throughout this novel and like smells herself. She's a vampire, but she's really stupid. Whereas Bella, I can forgive. That one.
That's another note that I had where I'm like, you are so dense, it makes me angry.
Oh my god. So we're gonna do a bit of a backstory trauma dump. A couple weeks ago, her father's guard showed up at her workplace, kind of outed her as a vampire, and said, "Hey, your father needs to meet with you."
Right, because she had been filing down her teeth and wearing contacts and like lying about some sort of narcoleptic
sleep disorder
that she had, where she could only come in and work at night.
Yeah.
So.
We find out that after she became collateral, she really did not want to live with a vampire. So her and her friend Serena, and we'll talk so much about her, decided that they're both going to go live in the human world. They live in separate apartments. She works as a white hat hacker for a company. And something that, like, I have to talk about, I'm so sorry, is it's another instance of everybody hates Misery. At her office, she has a meeting in which she proves her hacking prowess. And instead of handling this thing like a grown adult, which is, I'm going to exclude you from office events, or I'm going to shit talk you behind your back, they put garbage and bird on her keyboard. This is not how real people act at the workplace.
Also, if you act that way at the workplace, you're fired.
Right, exactly. But it's there to serve as, woe is me, everybody's always out to get me. Bird on your keyboard? Ali Hazelwood. I'm sorry, and this happens so often where people
I
act
love
insanely.
it when we're creative.
That means somebody in the office had to either go buy gloves, go outside, wait for a bird to scrape it off the ground, come back, put it on her keyboard. But look at that. Another instance yet of people hating Misery. And in this case, too, she acts like such a dick. Like, one of her coworkers comes up to her. Granted, he's not the greatest, but he even says, hey, if you acted even just remotely personable, I think people would like you more. And her response is, what are you doing here? Why are you talking to me?
Right.
And then Vanya shows up. Vanya is her dad's personal guard. So they take her to the vampire hub called the Nest.
Mm-hmm.
Because terminology vampire nests, but the Nest is not a weird cave in the middle of nowhere. It's a corporate building.
It's a huge corporate building. It's the tallest building.
It's the tallest building in their city. It's sprinkled throughout it. It's not that important, but they do live in the United States, and it seems as though all of these species have very like regional understandings of government. So they're the vampire council for the Southwest region.
Yeah.
And so they live in this giant corporate building called the Nest. And the understanding here is that's kind of where all vamps go to get anything like healthcare, shopping, food, all of it's there.
Yeah.
And then the topmost 1% of families live in the Nest on the top floors.
Yeah.
And here's something that I will say now, we'll talk about this later. I think Ali Hazelwood doesn't seem to like vampires. First of all, being a vampire in this world sucks. There's literally no benefit to it physiologically.
Yeah.
But also just culturally, they are heinous.
Yeah.
Just the worst group of people to want to be part of.
Absolutely.
But everything she's describing just sounds like if you grew up in an upper class system.
Right.
So in my head canon, this is not real, but in my head, Misery is so self-centered that she's prescribing the attributes of just being a 1%er to all vampires.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, they're so political and they only have conversations unless it benefits them. And I'm thinking, no, they probably don't, you idiot.
Yeah. How do you... It was really confusing to read about the vampires because there's this narrative that all of them are so individual, but then her brother Owen has friends.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand.
Or like, her dad is really obsessed with this one phrase. We get into it.
Oh, yeah.
For the good of the most over the good of the many over, the good of one, basically saying,
yeah,
it's better to sacrifice one person to save everybody.
Right.
Which is a very, he's an evil mustache twirly villain, but it's a very collective mindset.
Right.
That a lot of them, specifically Owen and Vanya, the only two other vampires we actually see in this book, also emulate.
Right.
So it's incongruous to then have a group of people who are very individualistic, who don't care about each other.
Yeah.
It's also like a polyamorous culture.
Yeah.
But the way that she's portrayed it is, yeah, they just sleep with whoever because their population is so low.
Yeah.
And not in we don't judge love that way. I would have much preferred it if the vampires in a more fun way had a very progressive understanding of their body, of sexual liberties.
Right.
And it was the werewolves, because they have this intrinsic understanding of what a mate is, were very like, no, you marry one person and that's it. And that's why Lo is so committed to her, because in his head he goes, well, I'm married to you, so whatever.
Right.
No, that's not it. The vampires all suck. And I'll talk about how they suck throughout it. I'm trying to get past this. But they go to the hub. They see Misery's dad. For the good of the most or not at all. She hasn't seen her dad in 7 years before this. And he just info dumps at her and gives her this really terrible proposition. Like you had said before, essentially the governor that was with them, that was like allied with them essentially.
Yeah.
Has now been ousted from office. And a new governor who seems more sympathetic to the wares is going to be in power. So in order to maintain some sort of alliance, he proposes a wedding, a marriage, another collateral system. And at first, Misery is really sure that she's going to say no. She makes this whole speech about putting down her phone. You have 10 minutes to give me your spiel, and then I'm leaving out the door. Some part of this too, her dad mentions the current collateral and misgenders them, says, oh, the girl, and Misery has to remind him actually it's a boy. And I went, oh God. When I say the author's hand is showing, I mean that characters in the world are acting in ways that don't feel realistic in service of a thing that the author wants to show. So in this case, the author wants to show that Misery is really empathetic and would remember that the collateral was a boy. But her mustache twirling dad, who was a councilman, who probably set up that collateral system and probably has a very good memory about important things.
Right, you would want to remember who the collateral was that you sent over there.
Yeah, he wouldn't know that. There's other ways in which you can do that without nerfing characters around your main character.
Yeah.
And that's just a prime example of it. When I read that, I went, why wouldn't he know?
Right.
Why are we doing this right now? Good God. Also, your dad is evil. You don't have to look nicer in comparison to an evil man.
Right, yeah, you already do, and because he's evil.
We find out that Lo challenged the previous alpha. Actually, we don't know his name yet. We know that the newest Were Alpha challenged the previous one. The previous one, super aggressive. New one, super progressive. Very fun. Fight the good fight. And so he's willing to engage in an alliance with the vampires, an alliance specifically being a marriage. Misery is about to leave, and she's going to go through the door when her dad very heavy-handedly goes, Moreland's a great guy. And she turns around and she says, what? What?
What's his name?
What's his first name? Lo Moreland. And then I agreed to marry him. Okay, fine. Whatever. Whatever. We're at the reception now. That was a huge info dump flashback. It's the only time I'm going to be doing a flashback during this, besides when we talk about Serena.
Yeah, okay.
Liar!
So then we have this reception. Misery, because nobody likes her and she doesn't like anybody either, is hanging out on a balcony. Governor Davenport is there, and the only reason he's there is to tell you about Misery's past, which is one, nobody likes her. Okay.
Got it.
We also learned that vampires don't follow any of the vampire canon. So, like, if you eat garlic, they're not allergic to that or anything.
Yeah.
They don't sleep in coffins. We also learned that vamps and wares are just genetic modifications to humans, that somewhere down the genetic line, vampires adjusted to drinking blood and being awful, and werewolves got faster and stronger and turned into wolves. And the final piece of the puzzle we get here is that Misery was not named by her father in the vampire world. The vampire council picks her name. And I remember like texting you guys in the group chat how angry I was. They decided, Owen is her twin brother, by the way, so they both were born around the same time. Owen's labor apparently was really long. And then Misery's was short, but that's what, eventually her mom died in labor. So they went, well, we'll name her Misery because she killed her mom. And then I guess we'll name him Owen because
he was fine. He didn't kill his mom.
Because he didn't kill his mom. And that's like back to the victim porn of it all.
Oh, yeah.
I was named Misery while my brother was named Douglas. And it was just really hard for me.
I don't know why they named me Misery and he got to be Owen.
Right. Or if you just give him another name.
Totally.
And don't piss me off.
Your guys are vampires. Just all have freak names like Misery, and and then that makes more sense to me at least.
Because all the other vampires, Vanya, I think her dad's name is Henry. Her brother's name is Owen, and then her name is Misery.
Vanya's at least cool. Vanya fits the vibe.
It fits the vibe.
But like Henry, Owen, what are we doing here?
Either you give them all average human names, or you give them all goofy, that just gothic titles.
Right.
They all have strange, my name is Depression. My name is Candelabra. Like,
my name is Ebony Darkness.
But again, the author's hand is showing here. She's a special girl who has pink hair and is the main character. She's leaving this convo and she's walking down a set of stairs when she realizes that Lo is there talking to his seconds. The way the werewolves are structured is Lo is the alpha of the entire region, but within the region there are different little packs, and so each pack's huddles is what they call them, nominate a second to basically represent their huddle. So he has a collective of seconds. I think there's about 12. He's talking to 2 of them. I think they're his closest ones. And they're speaking super vaguely about something that if you're familiar with this genre, you get. They say things along the lines of, are you sure she's actually your ... Is it possible to have a ... Okay, Misery doesn't know this, but we as the audience know exactly what's happening here. So when a reveal happens later, I went, okay, and?
Yeah, already knew this.
I already knew this. It's so heavy-handed what you're doing here.
It's incredibly obvious, yeah.
But in the middle of this conversation, because we have to know that Lo is like a really, really good guy, During the reception, a vampire child and a werewolf child are fighting over a toy robot. I guess they have, Transformers in this world. And he goes to break it up because both parents are getting really, really aggressive. Mad. And he gets down on one knee and he gets the robot, he fixes it, and he gives it to the vampire child. And then he tells the were-child, say sorry. And then after the kid does, he ruffles his hair. And he's like, look at me, I'm a good guy.
He's a good man, Savannah. A good man.
I'm so tired of the main character love interest having to be either really good guy or we're reading dark romance and it's just like a guy you should have never ever dated ever in any world ever. Give me a little bit of an in-between. Make him flawed. Make him flawed in some way that feels like a person.
Or you don't have to do this right now. It like immediately removes any tension that we might have about Misery's situation.
Right.
He's doing this and we go, oh, he's probably just a nice, normal guy.
Right.
It's just sort of marketed as an enemies to lovers story, and I don't get that. There's no question.
We can maybe we'll make a whole episode about this, but the way that enemies to lovers is thrown around these days makes me want to throw hands. Make them actual enemies, not just we're kind of fighting with each other, but I've always thought you're smoking hot and I actually always kind of liked you. No, that's not enemies to lovers then.
No.
What are we talking about?
I would have rather Misery be more like on alert going into the were territory,
right,
than just, oh, I think he's kind of a good guy.
Right, or just make it, we are natural enemies. It's not enemies to lovers, but you are my natural enemy and have been for generations and generations. So I am already on, like, I don't trust you.
Yeah. And he doesn't have to do this during the wedding. It can just be a normal wedding where she's like not sure about it. But he comes back from the situation. His seconds are gone, but he knows Misery's up there. So he calls her down and they have their first dance, which she says specifically is to a pop cover. I want to think that it's Shape of You by Ed Sheeran. The shape of exactly. That's in my heart, and that's going on in the background. And he's asking her a bunch of personal questions and responding really passive aggressively. Like, why did you even do this?
In my head, it's Who Let the Dogs Out by Baham is playing.
Hear woman shout out, who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Who let them out?
There's a human DJ who's going, it's my time to shine, because humans are idiots in this. So he's also playing,
this is the perfect opportunity to do something hilarious.
He's playing the Twilight soundtrack. Super passive black hole. And the wares and the vamps are just too polite and too over this shit to say anything.
Anyway, sorry.
It's Werewolves of London. So yeah, he's asking her a bunch of like personal questions, but being really mean about it. And I'm just gonna say this because we're gonna reference it constantly. She's his mate.
Yes.
She's his mate. And the moment he saw her down the aisle, that's why I was acting like Jasper from Twilight. He immediately saw her and understood that that's his mate. And so why is he then being so mean? And it would be explained if he wanted to deny that within himself.
Right.
And throughout like a good part of this novel, he's investigating if that's even a possibility. Like his personal investigation is what's going on here. Is this genetically a possibility?
Because to my knowledge, this hasn't really happened or doesn't really happen. And perhaps that's just because of the longstanding feud that they've had of they both have not been around, like werewolves and vampires have not been around one another.
Yeah.
So that's why there really isn't vampire werewolf mate pairings. But that's all just me conjecture. Like, this is the one thing that I wanted more explanation of. How is this possible?
Just in terms of like genetics, I know I'm asking so much out of this book right now, but it always bothers me when, like, why genetically would they be compatible? I get they're like offshoots of humans, but then what is the purpose of a mate?
Yeah.
What does that mean? Does that just mean that you were biologically attuned to one another and that you make the optimal children?
Right.
Or is it just a fun thing that you have in this world?
Yeah, a random red string of fate has attached you, and that's that.
But in this moment, he's being really aggressive towards her, and I don't need him to be sweet, but I would much rather him be curious in a way that she can interpret. Like if it's Misery interpreting him being mean, that's one thing. But he's outright just asking her really personal, invasive questions, and then he states the thesis of Misery's character arc, which is, so you don't belong with the vampires, you don't belong with the humans, and you certainly don't belong with the Wares. Misery Lark, you don't belong anywhere. Which, okay, thank you, guy I just met today.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Cool? Like, how did you come to this conclusion?
Right. Or why are you coming to this conclusion?
Why are you coming to this conclusion? And why are you saying it to her?
Right. And to me, it would have been a cool moment for him to have this moment of recognition of, oh, Misery, again, we're supposed to be giving someone who is high value as a collateral piece, both the werewolves and the vampires. For him to lock in and realize, oh, sure, she is high value in that she is the daughter of the head of the nest, but I can see very clearly that not a single person cares about her. So now I'm angry because we have sent someone over there that we care about, and you actually don't care about what happens to her. So how is this actual collateral?
This isn't a fair exchange whatsoever.
Right. I wish we had explored that thread a little bit more.
Oh my god, that would have been more interesting.
We're gonna rewrite it.
Because in this moment too, we find out later he immediately has sympathy for her.
Yeah.
And instead of going, what the hell? Like, no one cares about you, so then what was the point of this? In his understanding, he feels as though no one sees her value and no one understands her, and what a mistake that they've made. And I do. And already he's primed to care about her, even though he wants to deny it. And it's so early.
Even though he knows nothing about her either.
Oh my god. Oh my god. We also find out from Governor Davenport earlier that the collateral that they sent over is his mate.
Yeah.
So she has the understanding, oh, he has a mate. It's not me. And it's going to be really heartbreaking for him to know that she's over in vampire territory and I'm taking her place.
Yeah.
And then the random assassination attempt is on her. Okay, so
and Lo saves her.
And Lo saves her
because he's such a good guy.
And then he tells her, "Let's stay out of each other's way."
Yeah, let's just be roommates. Actually, this is too much for me. Let's just be roommates.
So the next couple chapters go in and out of order. So I'm gonna put them in the correct order. We get an understanding of why Misery's motivations are here. Like you had said, her friend has gone missing. And when the day her friend goes missing, she makes a police report. In this society, police are terrible. And our society, police are terrible. Yeah. A cab, baby.
The most realistic thing about the book.
oh yeah, it was a terrible time. But her friend doesn't often just go completely missing without telling her. She's an investigative journalist. So sometimes she will go away for a couple days at a time, but whatever. At one point, though, while Misery is trying to find Serena, she's in Serena's house. Her name's Serena Paris. And Serena just got this dumb cat that Misery hates because I guess animals and vampires don't get along. Sure.
Yeah, why not?
And it's so funny to me the way that this author's, Ali Hazelwood's logic goes. Maybe she thought this was quirky, but Misery checks the entire apartment and finds nothing that will lead her towards her friend. And she's about to have a breakdown, and this cat shows up, starts batting around a piece of paper. Misery grabs it on a ripped piece of paper from a journal in a fake butterfly language is what they called it, that her and Serena made up together.
Yeah.
Is written the words L.E. Moreland. And that's her only clue as to what's going on. So when her father had mentioned Lo Moreland, Misery's making the connection and then assuming this is her only way to get there. And before this started, we went, what? That's the only way to get info? I get that that's the point of the novel. But then you could have at least shown me, because she's a white hat hacker, that she's then doing more research, doing her due diligence. At first she says no to her father, and her father's scrambling to find somebody else.
Right.
And she goes back, does her due diligence, finds out that there literally is not much she can do because the werewolves have such a secure system.
Right.
They have their own really cool tech boy on that side who we'll meet in a second. And then decides, okay, I have no other avenue. But the fact that she immediately goes, I'm gonna
without
marry him.
even trying.
Without even trying.
Yeah.
So that's the whole reason. The reason that Serena is so important is when Misery was collateral, Serena was a human that lived with her to keep her as companion. She wasn't adjusting well, and so they decided, well, we'll just give her this little human girl. So the two of them grew up together. Serena is an orphan, and they bonded really, really deeply. It was just them for about, I want to say, 7 years.
Yeah, quite
Yeah.
or longer.
Maybe longer. I don't remember what age she became.
Collateral usually goes over at age 8, and then they're done at
So,
18.
a decade.
So yeah.
Yeah, so they spent a whole decade, just the two of them,
Yeah.
and their caretakers. So Misery refers to her as my sister, my foster sister.
My sister.
My sister. But that's why Serena is so important. And we also find out that they had a fight before Serena went missing. And the fight was over the fact that Misery was not adjusting at all in the human world.
This made me so angry.
Mhm.
Have Misery do something actually kind of egregious that makes this fight make sense. Because all the fight was Serena going, hey, look at this opportunity, you should take it. And Misery going, nah, I don't really want to. And then Serena being like, you don't try at anything and I'm mad at you for it. Which I guess fair enough. But I wanted there to be more heat on Misery for actually doing something bad.
You know what's more realistic? Because this has happened in, I think, both of our lives, where you have one friend who goes off and makes so many friends and it has like a busy social life, and another friend who then confronts them saying, hey, I never see you anymore. We never talk anymore. What's going on?
Right.
And at first, maybe that's something Serena goes, haha, okay, I'll try to make more time for you.
Right.
Misery's leveraging their history. We're sisters. We're supposed to see each other. I barely see you like 3 times a week anymore.
Right.
And then Serena finally blows up. Saying,
Right.
I can't live the way you do. I actually care about other people. I want to make friends. I want to have a family.
Uh-huh.
I can't isolate myself the way that you don't seem to. And we have instances where she tries to bring Misery around to her friend groups and tries to ingratiate her into the people that Serena has built a life with, and Misery just keeps shutting that down.
Right. Or showing up and just not trying at all, or, something to that effect. And yeah, they have this blow up fight, and maybe Misery says some mean things out of hurt too, and
Would be great.
would have been way better.
Would have been way better. But the point of this whole argument is that Serena is telling Misery, you need to actually care about something in your life outside of me.
Yeah.
You need to have something.
Stop being so codependent.
My gripe with that, though, is in this novel, Lo says it as well. You don't belong anywhere. Serena's saying you need to find a place that has to be outside of just our relationship. Misery isn't making that. It happens to her. She's not going out of her way, because we get to the werewolf place.
The character development,
So
non-existent.
Non-existent. We get to the werewolf's home, and Alex, this guy who's like a really good hacker, who's really scared of him or her, is giving her a housewarming tour, showing her the places. The only real important thing there is Misery loves to be really snarky off the bat. She's in enemy territory, and she's making jokes about sucking his blood. And he's clearly scared, and in her inner monologue, she thinks she's being quirky.
So funny. Yeah.
She thinks she's being funny, and he's clearly not receiving that well.
Right.
And she has no sense of safety,
Self-preservation.
She just keeps, and the author, I think, believes that this is a cool personality trait to have. The whole time I'm going, you idiot.
Yeah, it makes sense why people don't like you.
Right. You're not doing anything to like get yourself liked in this
Right.
whatever. She has her own blood fridge, and then Lo has a physical office in this house. This is actually Lo's house that she's going to be staying in.
Yeah.
And her room is right next to Lo's room. That night, not that morning, I should say, because she's a vampire. She sleeps during the night.
Yeah, the
or
one
day.
part that we have kept canon about vampires is just we get hurt in the sun.
Yeah, and they get hurt. They're not like turning into ash. They just get like
Yeah.
really blistery and burnt.
Depending, yeah, I think it depends how long.
Exposure.
Yeah.
So she can be in the sun for a little bit. They also really love windows, but they have to have really special windows. Her room doesn't have those special windows. They just have normal windows, no curtains whatsoever, I believe.
Yeah.
A bed in there, just right in front of those windows. So Misery takes off all the bedding, goes into the closet, and sleeps in there. Which, why wouldn't they send this information over to the werewolves? I get that
Right.
they don't understand each other's biology, but there should have been a dossier of...
This could have been a great misunderstanding point too, of her being like, they did send this information over. He doesn't care though. And did not do this knowingly, and it turns out, oh no, actually your dad just didn't care enough to let them know that, hey, you need to do this.
Right. Because otherwise it looks like incompetence on the part of the vampires or the werewolves.
Right.
And that just feels really silly. You're telling me the top 1% of both of these factions are this incompetent?
Right.
Good God. She's sleeping in this closet. She's woken up in the middle of the day by a precocious little girl. I notoriously don't like precocious children in my stories. I find them to be ridiculous, and the way the authors use them is so...
Always is as a means to an end.
So this girl is being precocious, saying, are you really undead? And then you had blood, and you drank blood, and you became a vampire? And Misery doesn't understand children, so she thinks this girl is between the ages of 3 and 17 or something. This girl is 7. And she like messes around with Misery, but we find out that she is one, Lo's little sister, even though Misery at first thinks that she's Lo's daughter. It freaks her out a little bit. And 2, she used to be in that room because it has an adjoining door to Lo's room.
Mm-hmm.
Now instead she has to sleep like across the hall from him, which this man loves his sister so much. Why would he then move her out of a room that he has a much easier time getting to, and she has an easier time getting to him, and replace it with a girl that he doesn't even like?
I guess we could chalk it up to, well, if something happens to Misery, the vampires, even if the vampires will use this as a way to attack us. So I'm going to make sure I keep super close to her to make sure nothing does happen to her.
But he's barely there and he barely talks to
I
her.
know.
I just was so confused by it. And I also thought it was a better opportunity because her bedtime is his like wake up time. So it would give them a chance to kind of see each other right when the other person comes in because they're across the hall.
Right.
If they're in rooms next to each other with an adjoining door, they're never going to interact.
Right.
It just felt like a weird choice.
Or if we're trying to do like the forced proximity thing too, just being like, we don't have an extra room for you, but you sleep during the day, I sleep at night. So I'll sleep here at night and you sleep during the day, and here we go.
Let's talk about the arranged marriage thing. What works for me in arranged marriage tropes, and one day we're going to do a trope deep dive because we enjoy those, is the fact that they are forced to at least pretend to be married.
Yeah.
This one, why were they married? She doesn't have to marry him. She's just another collateral.
Exactly. Just send her over there without the marriage.
Without the marriage. There's got to be something that specifically makes the marriage part important.
Right.
And the answer that we had in the beginning of, well, werewolves actually take marriage very seriously.
Yeah.
Or vampires do, whatever. So her being married to him inadvertently ties her to him forever in a way that he can't undo.
Right. And gives her a sense of protection, perhaps, of, you know, if werewolves do take marriage super, super seriously and now she's married to the alpha of this pack, then no matter what your feelings about vampires are, you can't touch her.
You can't mess with her.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And then it gives us more scenarios in which they have to pretend to actually be together.
Right.
Because if people aren't convinced that this is a true union,
yeah,
like it should have just been they made up a fake story that him and Misery fell in love and they're doing this to show true unity and that you can really be together. It's just a political arrangement so that both of their communities buy into this. The reality is they don't actually believe it at all. Misery's stuck doing this.
Right.
But in public, they have to pretend.
Yeah.
But both sides know that this is a sham. No one gives
Yeah. There's really only one instance where they have to pretend like they actually like each other, and that's it in the entire book.
And it pissed me off. Because even barely, oh God. So she's wakes up, precocious kid. This house is on a lake surrounded by trees. Awesome. Great job, Lo. We love that you made this choice. That day, when she wakes up, she's walking around the house. She's thinking, well, there's not a lot of people here. I'm going to go try to break into Lo's office so I can look into his computer. Because she had previously tried to break into the werewolf system. She was not given internet access whatsoever. She was not given it at all.
Yeah.
So she's desperate to find out anything. It's day one and she's already being the world's worst spy. She goes to his office and she's cornered by an 18-year-old werewolf named Max.
Oh, freaking Max.
Max is weird, and he starts angrily talking to her about the fact that her people killed his people. There were a lot of like skirmishes at the border. His parents died. His sister died at the hands of vampires. Yep. And Lo is a traitor for marrying you. And then he goes to attack Misery. Now, Misery has been on the receiving end of many assassination attempts because everyone hates her. One of them was me. And she like defends herself. She gets him against the wall rather than her being against the wall. And then she shows him her fangs, which have now fully grown out. They're not dull anymore.
No.
And immediately all the werewolves show up and they're mad at her.
Yeah.
Lo pushes her against the wall. Juno, one of Lo's second in commands, who we had previously sort of met, but it's not that important, is there accusing Misery of attacking Max. And Max is lying. He says, yeah, she's the one who attacked me. She showed me her fangs. Misery is trying to defend herself by telling them the truth, and they don't want to hear any of it. Lo.
We can get into this maybe a little bit more later, but it comes out that they can tell when people are lying.
Mm-hmm.
So how did any of this happen?
It's not even just because the way that they explain it is that Lo is the alpha, and the alpha can tell when people are lying.
Right.
So Lo already knew and then later explained it to them. My confusion is, does Max not know that attribute? Why was he so confidently lying?
Right.
And the only thing I can think is that he's a dumb 18-year-old.
I guess.
But it doesn't make, it should have been, Lo should not have been there.
Yeah.
It should have been the other werewolves. And then this happened to Misery.
Mm-hmm.
And they hate her. They're accusing her of going for him.
Right.
They lock her in her room, whatever.
Or just don't let Lo know when people are lying.
Or yeah, just remove that aspect.
Right.
And then they tell Lo later, and Lo goes, okay, I'm going to investigate this.
Right.
But Lo being there, knowing full well Max is lying, and then being so accusatory towards Misery,
Right.
he pulls her into his office, and Juno follows, and Juno calls her, I feel like something like vamp.
Yeah, Juno hates Misery probably the most.
But it switches. It switches so fast.
For no reason.
Oh my god. So he lets Juno say a bunch of crap at Misery and then goes, Juno, get out.
That's my wife.
They have like a back and forth convo. It's rife with like tension because Misery can't help but see how big he is. How big and handsome he is and how good his eyes are. Even
small
when he's
girl
young.
and big man.
Big man. And Lo keeps telling her, behave. Behave, Misery. When you're in my house, behave. And she turns around and she turns around to leave to the door. She stops to say something. When she turns back, he has deeply inhaled the room. And
He's so upsetting. If I leave the room and I ever hear you go, I'm screaming and throwing up and going, what the hell are you doing, actually?
it's gross to me.
It's so nasty.
And Misery's first response, like an idiot. And I'm saying that because I know this genre, but she turns and says, I've been trying to take a bath.
But no, but like an idiot because, okay, right now she doesn't know, but later he talks about how scent is something that is so important to werewolves. And like, I can't remember if specifically he's talking about mates and mating. I think he is.
He is.
To identify a mate, they have like a certain scent to them.
Mm-hmm.
But then at that point, she also does not put two and two together.
I would rather it her and him both beating around the bush. Like they both know what's happening here.
Yes.
He doesn't want to admit it because he doesn't believe it, even though he's the one experiencing it. So he knows it's real. He doesn't want to admit it.
Yeah.
And then she should, just because she doesn't know werewolves that well, should go, that can't be true. Like, I think either you're messing with me or I think you got it wrong.
And we can go back to the fact that vampires are very polyamorous, and that is just so
Foreign to
unlike her upbringing, for there to be one singular person for her.
Right. And like, again, a culture exchange of just, I get that this mate thing is important to you.
I don't get it.
I don't get it. I don't see why it's that
right.
crucial. Why can't you just have another person?
Right.
And this too, she's not immediately assuming mates because she believes that Gabby is his mate, the other collateral.
Right.
But either way, he's acting really weird.
Yeah.
So now, because of this Max situation, she has bodyguards on her 24/7. One of them's like an older gentleman named Max that she likes. And Max tells her that she has a call from her brother.
Mick?
You're right. It's Mick.
Mick.
I say Mick later too. An older gentleman named Mick. Mick has a scar on his neck We find out that that's a thing that you have between mates. So you mark each other with a physical scar. Okay. She has a call with her brother. Her brother is being really snarky, but also really caring. He can't make up his mind on how he wants to do things. She switches in the tongue, which is the vampire language.
Yeah.
And we find out that actually Owen also knows about Serena's disappearance. Owen and Serena have met and they got along pretty well. But he tells her that there was a break-in at her apartment, but otherwise no further information to be told. And then after that, similar thing. So Misery is hanging out on her bed trying to hack her way into the Wear system, even though she doesn't have Wi-Fi. Anna climbs in through the roof, which I guess a 7-year-old can do. I don't know. Maybe 7-year-olds are 17-year-olds.
I mean, a 7-year-old werewolf is,
maybe.
Sure. I'm being made to believe so anyway.
She's hanging out with, what's her name? Misery on her bed, and Ali Hazelwood's protagonists all have to be women in STEM. Like, every single one of them.
No, truly, yeah.
It's actually a thing.
Yeah.
And so Misery is our, like, computer science girly, but the way that they talk about stuff, as somebody with a computer science background, I don't code anymore, and I haven't for years because I don't like it.
You're not a white-collar hacker?
That's a white hat hacker. A white-collar hacker.
You're not the computer science to white
I'm in.
hat.
No way. I'm getting hacked. I'm trying. It's moving too fast.
Oh, this is not good.
So another bonding moment with Anna. Basically, what we're doing here is showing that Misery cares about this small child within like 4 days. Next day, they have a barbecue.
Oh, God.
I don't care. I don't care. A barbecue is happening outside. They didn't invite Misery. Weird thing to not let the vampire that lives in this house know that there's a bunch of werewolves that are going to be on this property.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Again, it goes back to she never ingratiates herself in a group. So this whole time, she's not really getting to know anybody. Granted, they don't like her.
Yeah.
But if I'm in your position and I'm trying to get intel, my first thought would, I need to get these people to trust me and to like me. So what do I need to do for that?
Right.
Whether it's seducing Lo and like pretending to actually like him,
Yep.
or trying her best to make others, like she should have just shown up, have a stupid umbrella, sunglasses, sat out there and gone, I'm here too, guys.
Yeah. Force herself into the dynamic. And again, going back to the whole Serena conflict too, of you just don't care about anything other than me. It at least is like, okay, Misery's been dropped in with these people, but now she actually has to try with these people, unlike any other time before.
Because this next situation immediately makes them all love her. And she doesn't actually have to try that hard. Yeah. From her window, it's sunset, so she's not super in the sun. She can kind of hide to the side. Yeah. She sees on the wood lines that Max is talking to Anna, and she immediately has alarm bells in her head. And to her, it seems as though Anna doesn't want to go along with Max, but he kind of coerces her.
Yeah.
And she does check herself, because for a hot second, she thinks, well, he's known her entire life, so I shouldn't assume something's going on. But he does bring her into the woods. Alarm bells go off in her head. She does not want to even try it. She leaves her room. Her guard isn't there. Goes downstairs, runs outside in the sunlight, chases after them. A bunch of other werewolves see, but don't seem to notice. He's dreaming. He's dreaming of his wolf pack. And she confronts Max, tells him to give Anna back. And Anna does come back to her. Max wants to attack Misery, and a bunch of other werewolves pop out. Surprise! It was actually on their plan to try to capture Max. They've
been watching Max.
Max is working with a group called the Loyals. The previous Alpha's mate doesn't agree with Lo's current situation, doesn't agree with what he's doing. So there's a group of people who are basically being adversarial, bombing schools. Crazy. And fighting other werewolves. So Max was working with them. This was their plan to try to figure out who exactly he was working with, because he was trying to deliver Anna to somebody.
Yeah.
And Misery basically thwarted that plan.
Yep. So
they're all in the living room now. Misery has a bunch of burns on her. They're trying to get information out of Max. And this is one of the scenes where everyone else in this scene has to look like a complete moron.
Yeah.
So that Misery can come in and be the smart one in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Because they want to use Guantanamo level tactics on like this 18-year-old. which
You know
feels
what?
crazy.
Deserves it.
Deserves it. And Misery has to come in and go, no,
Stop!
he's just a kid. I can help you.
Also, let me hypnotize him.
So vampires suck in every single possible way. They can't go out in the sunlight. They're not really that strong. Their population is really low because they have a hard time having children. Culturally, they hate each other. They don't have parties. They don't eat in front of each other.
No birthdays.
No birthdays, none of that. However, the one thing they do get is if you're really, really strong, you can turn people into thralls by hypnotizing them with your eye movements. Which I guess we have to science away why this happens. So she offers to do that to Max. She's not very good at it, but she does end up putting him under her thrall. The other werewolves are super freaked out by it, but they get on board immediately.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because why wouldn't they?
Why wouldn't they? So they ask a bunch of questions to Max. He thinks it might be the person that we talked about. Emery is their name, the mate of the previous alpha. And before we get into any more further investigation, Lo sort of puts his jacket on Misery because she's cold, I guess. And then at the end...
Which I'm going, youch, her burns touching clothing sounds horrible.
It sounds really bad.
But
The scene was super weird because at one point they're getting really into the interrogation and Lo goes to Misery, puts his hand in like the pocket, touches her breast, which he says explicitly, and she blushes. And then he pulls out his phone and tells her to go to her room. Why did we have to do that? That was weird. You don't put that in there. That's really presumptive of someone.
hilarious. This is like teenagers trying to hit on each other of like, oh my god, I could touch your boob this way.
The whole time he's not even listening. This man has like kidnapped his sister.
He's
just
thinking about like, how do I touch? How do I do this?
if I
How do
leave the phone inside my jacket
rather than
pocket.
grab the phone out before I give her my jacket, I'm gonna put the jacket on her and then I'm gonna put my hand in that pocket.
Also, what a cruel thing to do to your sister. Misery points it out, and that was one of my like, okay, that was smart, but also this shows me that this author had to make everyone else dumb. She points out that was a really dangerous situation you put Anna in.
Yeah.
His response is, well, we had 6 people watching her and a tracker specifically on her, and then Misery responds with, well, she like could be traumatized by that. Like that's a really still like a scary situation.
Right.
But I guess
she
children-
doesn't know that she's being watched.
Or
and,
like
for-
kidnapped, right? Like if something,
right.
it maybe there's 6 people on her, but it doesn't take that long to hurt a child.
Right.
You know, in this scenario, I don't think that Max would necessarily have made it to handing off Anna.
Yeah.
But what if he had said something really cruel to her?
Right. Or who's to say that whoever he's meeting up to hand Anna off to isn't already close by as well? So yeah, you have 6 people, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to get into like a potential fight with other people.
Right, like, are they going to a designated site where there are other wolves? Was she going to potentially have to see somebody die?
Right.
None of this, I'm sure they considered it, but it's just so weird that Misery has to point out to them that this was a stupid situation.
Right.
And Lo's response is, it's fine. We had it under control.
I got it, babe. Don't worry about it.
Okay, fine. She goes to her room. She realizes that they're probably really preoccupied with what's going on with Max, that his office will be open. So she goes back down to his office. She's in there. She's doing her elite hacker mode. And a wolf is by her foot. It turns out to be one of his seconds, but Lo comes in and starts interrogating her. And the way he's interrogating her is supposed to be steamy, I think. He's like pushing himself up against her and being really tall and intimidating and big. Alex comes in the room. Lo tells Alex, find out what she was looking at. What were you doing, Misery?
Yeah.
Tell me what you were doing, Misery. And eventually he makes Alex leave the room under the guise of getting seconds in here. A war's about to start. Because he tells her, you tell me what you're doing in here.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to say that, like, this is off. We're killing you. We're calling it.
Yeah. You were doing something to give vampires information, and that's how I'm going to take it.
Right. And so she has to open up to him about Serena. She explains that the last thing that Serena left for her specifically, because it's in their stupid little language, is L.E. Moreland. And while this is happening,
this made me so mad.
Lo goes, oh, that's really interesting. I wonder what's that about. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, she says, like your name was on the piece of paper.
Yeah.
So Lo is like, I've never heard of her before, but I'm sure we can work together to find out. Anna comes rushing in, and Juno is going, Anna, where are you? Liliana Esther Moreland, where are you?
Yep.
And Misery has a light bulb moment. L.E.
She's
Moreland?
so smart. She's so smart. Nothing gets past her.
Nothing gets past her.
That made me so angry. It was like, I guess I'm not sure how else, but this just felt so shoehorned in there.
I like need a minute to compose myself because like I don't have an offer as to what the alternative would be,
No.
but I agree that I didn't like that.
No, yeah.
Because a lot of times when we read books like this and we go, I didn't like this, I wish they had done something different.
Or I guess that it could have been as easy as Lo going, I've never heard of her, but Lo knows his sister's initials.
It just felt so stupid
Yeah.
to make such a bet. Like the fact that she's a white hat hacker and they were sent over dossiers. Like she had a dossier on him.
Yeah.
His initials are LJ Moreland. And it never once registered, oh, I got the wrong person. Because she said LE Moreland, he says LJ Moreland. Is there anyone else related to him that has those initials? No, it's just this stupid moment where she goes, oh my God, they're talking about Anna. So her and Lo have a conversation in the kitchen. Lo is making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And we learn about Misery's weird peanut butter fetish.
Yeah. Serena got her hooked on peanut butter. And Lo thinks it's so endearing because vampires don't eat, but she's eating peanut butter. And that's actually really hot.
Vampires see, so it doesn't affect their system, but they don't need it. And it doesn't really like taste like anything to them.
Yeah.
So eating for pleasure is just something that's not part of this culture. It's considered gross. And also you don't feed in front of people.
Yeah.
You go to your silent little room and you drink your little bag and you call it a day. So Lo is making this peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And we get an info dump about Anna, which we find out that she's actually half werewolf, half human.
Yeah.
That's like the big
They're
secret.
half siblings.
Lo immediately trusts her because she risked her life to save Anna. And that's enough. None of them, they're so suspicious of her. None of them went, that to me felt performed.
Right.
That didn't feel authentic.
Or this was one instant of her being compassionate. That doesn't mean that she is a compassionate person who is on our side.
Right, exactly. And I get because she's actually his mate that Lo wants her to be part of everything. And like a part of him, I get, we don't hear this, but a part of him, I'm assuming, wants her to be with him. But why do the other werewolves trust her? Because immediately after this instance where she saves Anna, all the werewolves are on her side. Besides like one, I think. Kendall Woodward. But so they're talking about that. Yeah. So it's revealed that her father is human. Her mother is also Lo's mother. And Lo's mother told him on her deathbed. And at first he didn't believe it. But Anna is a late bloomer. Like she has yet to shift. Her blood is red and not green. I never thought I would say that. Serious. I was so serious in that delivery of like it's really important, and then my brain had a moment where I went, "Do you know what you're saying?" So it's a huge deal because I guess they're worried about what that means if werewolves and humans can have children together, and like what that'll do for Anna's life.
Does it feel good?
She can't help it. This entire sequence, she's so desperate to eat peanut butter, so she takes a glab and she sexily eats
Also
it.
disgusting. Get your finger out of my jar of peanut butter.
Oh my God. Oh, they also make the conclusion that Serena was investigating Anna.
Yeah.
It's, Ellie Moreland, but also they think it's specifically because Anna's half werewolf, half vampire.
Which is a wild leap to make, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of wild leaps in this.
I get it. She's an investigative journalist. However, just because I guess their thing is what else would she have interest in Anna for? Because
Serena's expertise is economics. That's what she majored in. And what she writes about is financial crimes. That's what she investigates.
Right.
So they don't really have a connection there. It truly is just, well, this is the only unique quality about Anna. So I can only assume that that's what Serena was trying to point us towards.
Which, I guess.
On all levels except physical, I am a wolf.
Lo realizes that she's injured. She lifts up her shirt to show the injury. Look, help himself.
He's going sicko mode.
It's too much for his alpha. His alpha genes.
I'm the alpha, I'm the leader, I'm the one to trust.
The full moon is upon them, and Anna goes to Misery's room because she can't shift. And it's another bonding moment between Misery and this child. In each of these instances, it's Anna coming to find Misery.
Right.
Misery is not then going, I do care about this girl. I'm going to reach out and spend more time with her.
Right.
Make little events for us to do together.
I know all of them are out right now. I'm going to go make sure I go hang out with
Which
her.
would have been a great way to show Misery starting to learn to bond with other people, make an effort with other people. But no, it's
No.
Anna every single time.
Every single time.
Every single time. So they do that, and I also wrote down my issue with precocious children. My issue with precocious children is the fact that the authors use them so often to show that the mind of a child is innocent and these things that we worry about in the real world aren't actually real concerns. And to me, that's not as powerful of a statement than if an adult who grew up with those prejudices overcame them.
Right.
I don't need Anna to be immediately cool with the vampire girl, and that's just, wow, incredible. I have a friend in this child. It's
Right.
more important to me that Alex overcomes his prejudice or Juno overcomes her prejudice and they become friends.
Right.
And through a meaningful connection by understanding each other and not just you save this kid. Because
Yeah.
that hasn't changed how Juno sees vampires. It just changes how Juno sees her.
It's the same gripe that I had with Lady for a Duke, where I felt like Bartholomew was just there to make Viola realize certain things about herself and to show Viola's motherly instinct. Anna is there for the purpose of showing that Misery's compassionate and actually doesn't inherently hate werewolves.
Yeah. And Misery has
Okay.
no prejudice really going into this.
No.
The whole time she's making snarky jokes, even when they're like about to get on her for attacking Max, she's still making snarky jokes. One of them did make me laugh though. That was like my one positive about this book. I think she makes a comment because Misery has a cat. It's Serena's cat.
Yeah.
She takes it with her and she makes a comment about how, oh, is he going to blame the cat for racketeering? I thought that was actually kind of clever. But otherwise, I forget what was going on about that.
Just, it's another instance of Anna is finding Misery. Misery's not finding Anna. They're having this moment of bonding once again.
Whatever.
Anna's sad she can't shift.
So like we're having little moments of people warming up to Misery. She's not really doing anything besides that one instance of saving Anna,
Yeah.
but they all like her now. Next scene, Lo has to go visit. I'm trying to get my microphone. Lo has to go visit the werewolf mate of the previous alpha. It's a thing in their culture where the mate of the previous alpha who got ousted invites you over to show that things are cool, buddy. Everything's chill. We're fine.
Wild.
But he doesn't want any of his seconds to come with him.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know. He wants to do it alone.
Isn't he planting something? And that's why he just is like, I don't want anyone else to potentially get hurt if this goes awry, so I'm going to go by myself.
Sure, but it just in general feels weird.
No, it feels super weird.
Like you should at least show up with two of your boys.
Right. Even if they don't come to the actual event itself,
You should
have
come
them
with a
in
posse.
the area.
So that what they're trying to do is they think that Emery, the previous mate, the loyals, have something to do with Anna because of the kidnapping attempt. So they want to go there and hack into her system, elite hacker style. But they're trying to teach Lo how to code. And Lo, for some reason, is a buffoon. He is such a...
Hey, we can't have it all.
They make him out to be this guy who Googles Google into Google when he's trying to search something on Google. And this is a man that we find out went to Zurich to study abroad because he wasn't allowed to be here while the last alpha was here because the last alpha could tell that he was gonna
He's
be
going to be so super strong.
super strong. So he went to study abroad, like lived in Europe, was in Zurich, and studied architecture. And you have to use like CAD software.
Yeah.
You have to use a computer in general.
Yeah, we haven't been doing rough sketching for decades at this point.
If this was set in the 80s,
Right.
sure.
Yeah.
But this is set in like our times right now.
Feasibly contemporary, yeah.
And he's not a 40-year-old. He's a 26-year-old.
That's crazy. He's 26. I did not contextualize that.
He's saying stuff like, I'm gonna hit the side of it and it'll work. They're basically just trying to convince Lo to take one of them with them. And Misery does convince him to take her with him because she's also a coder. And I guess because she's his wife, that they can go. I would have just rather have been an invitation to both of them.
Yeah.
You've married this vampire. She is your wife. So I'm inviting both of you to come.
Yeah.
And they're going, well, Misery's already with you. So we can just use that as an opportunity to then hack in.
I'm an international
Misery has proved herself. Everyone likes her. Anna wants to host a dinner party. And so she invites everybody to the kitchen with like goldfish crackers and a bunch of crap. Misery is like pushing her plate around because she can't eat. And Anna notices that. They find out that vampires don't celebrate birthdays. So Anna wants to throw her a birthday party.
I love pointless bonding.
They bond, I guess. And this is where I'm starting to realize that I think Misery's understanding of vampire culture is just her understanding of the upper crust.
Yeah. It feels very unreliable narrator.
It feels she's saying, okay, well, we don't celebrate birthdays because we just celebrate it on Vampire New Year, which is, I guess, fine. But then she says we actually don't even celebrate in general. We don't do social gatherings. We don't hang out at all. And in my head, I'm going, this is still a community and a society.
Right.
You built an entire hub.
People are getting married.
People are getting... Actually, marriages aren't a thing for the vampires because of the polyamory aspect.
Oh, right. Well, people are having children.
Yeah, they're having orgies. At the very least.
Hey, come on.
But
That's
like,
a community activity.
Right, you built an interactive center for people to come and visit and do all of the social gatherings.
Right.
And even just in a societal way, most individualistic cultures like America still have like communal understandings of what it is. It might be slightly different. It might look weird. They can have a nighttime bacchanal. She goes, oh, the only parties that I would know about, or my brother was invited to, were these crazy blood orgies. But I don't think that's appropriate here. Ha ha ha. But it's the idea that they never spend time together. And to me, that just reads, you didn't get invited to anything.
Right. Or yeah, to me, it was very much so kind of, oh, you have been on the outskirts of society, and that's why you have not gone to anything. That doesn't mean that no one is going to anything.
Which goes back to the whole bullying aspect. It really should have just been a whole group of people who did not want to include her in things.
Yeah.
So in this moment, she's saying, I'm not really sure. I've never really been invited.
Right.
And if you want to do the whole trauma porn of it, that I think invokes a little more logical sympathy from me than just, yeah, we just never have parties.
Totally. Make this like a character flaw. Make this go into the fact that she has not tried to have relationships with other people, and that's why she's unfamiliar with these things, not because it's a societal thing.
If you're not invited, don't go. If you're not told, don't ask. And if you get a late invite, decline. You were never part of the plan.
Misery climbs onto the roof because she's feeling quirky that day, and Lo's also up there. We find out Lo has insomnia. They bond. We find out he studied at Zurich. We find out what cuddles are. She admits that her and Serena had a fight before Serena disappeared. And Lo now explains to Misery about mates. Misery is really curious what it is to have a mate. And Lo is beating around the bush, basically saying it's you without saying it's you.
Uh-huh.
Mates are really rare. They're triggered by scent.
Hello. That should have been the biggest tip off right there.
Uh-huh.
Hello.
Uh-huh. And her response is, I'm sorry that I smell really bad. And then Misery tells Lo that actually vampires don't really talk about their feelings, so that's not a thing that I'm accustomed to. So what do vampires do? They just stand there?
They just, yeah.
Politics is all they care about? No, girl, you've only been hanging out with 3 families your entire life, and they all suck.
Right.
I'd hate as people who really love vampire fiction too. I'm fine with a lot of different depictions of vampires. I think it's fun to have something outside of what is the traditional canon.
Yeah.
This is not my favorite take.
No.
This is nowhere near it.
Here's the thing too, is there's tons of vampire adaptations where political intrigue is part of that, and having to be really smart about how you go around talking to certain people. But it's not every single vampire you talk to is that way. It's just you're in certain positions with certain vampires where that's the case, and you want to be cutting and whatever. Whereas this is just, I'm so confused about the vampire society of just, yeah, do you guys just stand by yourself in a room and do nothing unless it's to talk about the good of the entire vampire population?
Vampires traditionally in genre are oftentimes used to show very sexually promiscuous, progressive desire, queerness, if we want to get into that. There is so much about vampires holistically that if you ignore Twilight is different.
Yeah.
Twilight is its own thing. But even that is a little bit about just, it's not a little, it's a lot about like internal desire and sex and the ostracization of the other, like, you know, that kind of culture. And this book didn't want vampires. It wants just a weird, very strict, like cult-ish society.
Yeah.
And then put vampires as a veneer on top of it. Nothing about them besides going out in the sun and being like having a thrall reads to me as the thing that I like about vampires.
Yeah, no, totally.
There's a reason that we read vampire fiction. This is not that.
This is not it. Mm-mm.
It's not just the aesthetic of having teeth and sleeping in coffins. There's an underlying theme with vampires that I want. I'm not getting that at all.
You nicknamed my daughter after the Loch Ness Monster?
They bond, and then she goes on a private jet with Lo. They have their own private jet. And he flies his own plane.
Yep.
Which feels like a bad choice, but I'm not gonna argue over this.
He can't use a computer, but he knows how to fly a plane.
I know.
How does that make sense?
He just hits the plane to start.
He shoves his feet through the bottom of the plane and starts running like a Flintstone.
Oh my god, that was really good. Run it like a Flintstone. But then they land, and Lo explains to her that he has to mark her. And thus begins some of the so it's not the scar tissue marking of like I'm gonna bite you and make you know, but it's I need to put my scent on your body so that they believe. Don't do this. So that they
I'm sorry.
So that they believe that she is actually somebody that he cares about and they have been having relations. And so this means that he has to rub her and lick her.
The entire time they're building up to this, they're like, you need to smell like me. I'm like, what is he gonna do? Like rub his armpit all over her? Like, how are we doing this?
Also, why didn't he warn her beforehand? It feels
right.
It
Hey,
feels
now
kind
that we're already here and they're waiting outside of the plane right there, I gotta send you.
We talked about this with the Lady for a Duke. In a lot of straight novels, they don't like discussing the act of what they're about to do because they feel like it takes away from it.
Yeah.
And this is a scenario where I feel like if they had spoken about it before the plane, if he had been really technical, well, here's what I'm going to do specifically to you to get my scent on your body. Are you comfortable with that? Yeah, great. And then they actually start doing it and it ends up being a lot more erotic than they expected. That is fine with me. But it's the fact that he goes, I'm going to start rubbing on you. And he's erect while he's doing it. And she's grinding up on him. And it's getting steamy.
He says specifically, though, that he knows this is something that is sensual. So, but the thing is, he didn't want her to come in the first place. So I feel like it would have been a perfect opportunity to be like, well, hey, if you come, I gotta do this to you. And you don't want that, right? And then she goes, no, I care more about getting information, so I will do it. And he's like, oh!
Right. She does make a little joke, a tee-hee joke about being a virgin. I just want to throw that in there because in these stories, they always have to be
who the
virgins.
hell is she hanging out with other than her one friend? Of course she is. No one had any questions about that.
I don't know why it was such a weird throwaway where he kind of made a snide remark about her probably having already slept with people. And she goes, well, yeah, I like to break norm or something of
Right.
or
We're
big
really,
expectation.
hey, polyamory, no. I would never, says Misery Lark, I guess.
Miserable. So it's a hot and heavy sex scene. He's licking and rubbing all over her. They stop themselves somehow. And it's immediately steamy and sexual because he's saying sexual things at her, too.
Yeah.
I would have rather it just been a physical thing, and they both pull back and go, oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Dang. But he's off the bat just saying, oh, I love the way you feel.
I love how you smell.
They get out of the plane. A bunch of wolves are there. Wolves notoriously no sense, so they immediately figure out what's happening here.
Yeah.
All of them are disgusted. We're disgusted. Emery is this nice little old lady who invites them for dinner, and they have a dinner, just the three of them, very polite, cordial. The next day, Lo goes out running. His buddy has showed up, an alpha from a different territory.
I
named
hate
Cohen.
him. I hate Cohen.
Cohen's the bad boy.
I hate
He's
Cohen.
the bad boy werewolf.
I read that. I read his character and I went, this is my least favorite character in the book.
Wait, why don't you like Cohen? I mean, I don't. This
His
really-
vibe's crazy. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he's insane.
Yeah.
He's insane because he immediately starts antagonizing. We find out that Emery, the mate of the previous alpha, is his aunt.
Yes.
And he immediately starts antagonizing her, trying to start shit up.
It's less that and more, it's weird frat boy energy, but not in a fun way, to
Yeah.
me at least.
Yeah.
And that's why I was not a fan.
He gives the friend that your boyfriend's friends are all friends with,
Mm-hmm.
and he gets added to the group trips, and you ask him, why are you still friends with Cohen?
Yeah.
And his response is, well, he's kind of fun, like when we go out. And that I feel like is not enough in this day and age.
No.
But yeah, Cohen is there, and Lo has talked to Cohen about distracting the other vampire or the other werewolves while him and Misery go into the office. Which I feel like they didn't even need. Because in the middle of dinner, Cohen is like starting stuff with them, saying how Roscoe deserved to die. It's better that he's cheers, this guy died.
My uncle's gone.
And while this is happening, Misery and Lo not necessarily even sneak away. They say she has to feed, so we have to go get her blood. They go into the office. She's doing her leet hacker business again. How many times can I say that? And Misery offers up the suggestion, if someone catches us in here, we should be in a position where it seems as though we're making out. Because there's stuff downloading in the background, and so while they're waiting, they can't just sit there idle. They have to do something. Lo is saying, well, our excuse is that we had to feed, so you need to feed on me.
Yeah. Wasn't it they hear someone starting to come towards the door and it's still downloading?
I think that's what it was. It's one of those moments.
Yeah.
Misery wants to pretend to, but Lo goes, no, they'll smell it. Like, they'll smell that you haven't broken skin, that there's no blood here. You need to actually feed on me. And so she bites into the skin. And oh lordy, is it powerful.
Yeah, she's aroused like immediately.
Someone has like come into the room, seen them rushed out.
Going, oh!
But the intensity of what they're experiencing in this moment is too powerful to even care about what's happening in the background. Yeah. She's drinking his green blood. Remember this.
No.
Also, when they blush, it's green.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why? Okay. So she's drinking his green
blood.
blood. He's into it too. He's like, come on, take more. Let's keep going. And they're rubbing, they're doing stuff. They're rubbing while she's sucking on his blood. She comes.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about this.
She fully experiences orgasm. And I think she's still sucking blood afterwards. And then other werewolves come in. Emery comes in and she's disgusted.
I would be too, honestly. I don't want to see that.
Also, maybe I'm just smarter than the average werewolf. But I would have gone, so you didn't have that on your neck before. Do you guys not often do this? So what is this? Why are you doing this here? Could you not save this for home? Because also they can smell, so they definitely know this was a sexual thing.
Yeah, she came. They're smelling that. Like, that's horrible.
I'm not usually so prudish about talking about these things. There's just something so, like, What's the word? What's the opposite of arousing?
Disgusting.
There's something so disgusting about this. Like, the way Ali Hazelwood writes sex scenes is not for me.
No.
I'm sure some people really like it. It's very visceral and uses a lot of porny words, for lack of a better
No,
thing.
totally.
But this scene,
Nothing is left to the imagination.
and it's hot and heavy so quickly. They have had very little emotional or physical build up to this point. I guess he
Yeah.
grazed her boob and then roughhoused her on the plane. But now they're coming in their pants. And the linear trajectory there bothers me just a little bit.
Yeah, totally. How did we get here?
How did we get here? Cohen shows up. Cohen sees what's happened and is like, hey, bro.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. He's dabbing him up. But then he says, hey, I got a call from Mick. Something's wrong with Anna.
Mm.
So they immediately get on a plane back. Misery grabs like the hard drive or whatever that she needs. And they find out that Anna has a fever. She's sick. And a were doctor can't really help her. But they're also too afraid to ask a human doctor to come because they don't want to reveal her. And this is where Misery gets to shine bright again, because Misery grew up with a human, and so she knows what humans need medically.
Yeah.
She recommends a bunch of prescriptions, writes them all down. They go to a pharmacy, break into one, I think, grab them.
Yeah.
She gives the dosage to Anna. Anna's fine.
I somewhat liked this,
Okay.
just because it made sense why she knew this.
Mhm.
I like when there is a reason behind her knowing this, so that made sense. I will say, I don't know what billions of prescriptions they're grabbing. It could have just been, she has a fever, and this is what I know has helped Serena when she has a fever, so we can try this. I feel like it was a little overhyped of like, she knows exactly which prescriptions and how much and blah, 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 blah. But
Right.
to me, it was kind of nice to see, oh, yeah, you did spend so much time in human territory. It makes sense why you know this. You had someone really, really close to you who was a human.
I think I'm a little confused as to why we had this scene, though.
Not again, I think it's just another scene for Misery to prove herself of she's good. That's really all I took it for.
I guess, but it doesn't do the thing I want, which is Misery being proactive.
Right.
She's reacting to Anna having a fever with knowledge that she's gained from the human world.
Yeah.
But that's not,
That's
and
not
that
the
knowledge
problem.
isn't necessarily just, like, I had to deeply understand people. It's, well, she routinely gets a fever and I know the dosage of that fever, so I'm just
Right.
going to relay that information.
Yeah.
It's not doing what I want it to do.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't think it did it super, super well, but I do,
Mhm.
again, I like when there's, oh, she does know this because of this lived experience that we really have not talked all that much about.
I guess, yeah, it does at least connect some of her experiences with
Yeah.
Serena back into this. And we find out why that also is more relevant later. But Anna's doing fine. They're hanging out in the kitchen again, by them, Misery and Lo are in the kitchen. And, oh, no. Right before that, she has a call with her brother.
Mm-hmm.
And she talks to her brother. She asks him about what happens if you suck another person's blood. And her brother immediately, head in hand, is like, please don't tell me
Yeah.
you and Lo.
Hey, don't do that.
Don't do that. I guess in vampire culture, sucking blood directly from the source really creates a physiological and emotional bond to them.
Yeah.
And the moment that they didn't have to do that anymore, they basically stopped, and it's purely just a sexual thing.
Yeah.
Because they walked in on their dad doing it to somebody else, and
Yeah.
Owen was freaked out by it, but the Misery didn't understand what was going on.
Uh-huh.
So he's basically saying, if you keep doing that, you are going to be building an attachment to this man.
Yeah.
So don't.
He also mentions, too, that they're not sure what the implications are of her drinking werewolf blood, too.
Green blood! God damn it. It should have just been like a brighter red, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Werewolf blood,
Anything else?
vampire blood being purple makes sense of like it's like I don't know,
coagulated and
something like that. Okay,
old.
dark red,
Yeah.
and then werewolves have like a lighter red because of more oxygen content or something.
Yeah. Hey, if we're gonna have women in STEM, let's make these other things.
I can all connect the dots here. I also, again, going back to the Misery being strategic and smart. Like, if Serena is always the goal,
Mhm.
then her using this idea to her advantage of, well, if I can get Lo to really fall for me,
Uh-huh.
and as long as I maintain my own boundaries and not make sure like I don't cross his emotional lines,
Right.
then maybe I can get him to do the things I want.
Right.
That's a whole different story. I get I'm asking for basically a different plot here, but
it made more sense. So.
it just feels like a lot of missed opportunities. This girl is not very good at espionage.
No.
But they're in the kitchen now talking about the fact that maybe we shouldn't do this again. We should not indulge in this feeding thing because it creates this bond. And Lo is saying, okay. They're having this conversation about what they mean to each other. And I did think this was a nice scene. I'll give that to them.
Yeah.
It was her being honest about the fact that she feels as though there's something between them, and him encouraging her and saying, yes, there is something between us. I feel it too. I don't want to stop doing the things that we've been doing together.
Yeah.
So if we can be on the same page about that, throughout this whole conversation, she's having peanut butter. And I think it's really important to note that Lo in this conversation is kind of encouraging her to pursue some type of relationship with him.
Yeah.
Because we have a moment at the very end where he says some very nasty stuff. And I think that's very unfair.
Yeah.
Partway through, she gets poisoned. She like blacks out. Turns out the peanut butter had poison in it. And that was really bad for Misery.
It was, yeah. I
was,
would,
like,
I
really
would
bad for
say
her.
it's really bad when you get poisoned.
She passes out. She's like in and out. All it takes is a healing trance for her to get back into it. I guess vampires have that kind of bodily function. Another vampire thing, I guess, healing trances.
Yeah.
Sure. When she wakes up, there's a big white dog in her room. And then they go back to sleep. Great. Awesome.
Uh-huh.
The next time she wakes up, she overhears voices downstairs. She goes downstairs. Lo is having a meeting with his seconds. He sees her. He ends the meeting. He grabs her up. He brings her back to the room. And we get a very interesting scene between Lo and Misery, where Misery says she wants to take a bath, clean up after being sick for 5 days. And Lo decides to give her that bath.
Yeah.
He runs water for her. Misery takes her clothes off in front of him. He uses a washcloth. The Misery, I guess, doesn't. Okay. And she's in this bathtub and they get, again, very steamy.
Yeah.
His hands are roaming her body. He's saying a lot of sexually explicit stuff about how good she smells and how he remembers her scent from previously she had broken into his room, which is how we find out he was an architect. And so he remembers that her scent had covered his bed. And
she like accidentally opens a drawer and finds his underwear, and he's talking about that, I believe, as well. Of like,
she also finds his lube. Okay. Okay. But yeah, and he's like, oh, I could smell you on my sheets. Why could I smell you on my sheets? The number of times I came to the scent on my sheets.
Ew. That's the thing for me, is this, the way this scene was written, the like physical intimacy is fine. Everything he's saying is horrible. Everything he's saying is it's scarring.
If you're really horny when you read something like this, I can see how it wouldn't bother you. But if you're sober,
if you're not drunk off of your pheromones and you're reading this, yeah, it's hard.
It's hard to read a scene like this.
Yeah,
because I don't doubt people say things like this when they're having relations. And it's probably fine and good, but that's because you are in the mood to hear crazy crap like that.
Right.
But if you're not in that headspace and you haven't necessarily, I don't know, led us there, it feels really rushed. Like this was maybe 3 pages.
Yeah.
Like throws her in the bath, starts bathing her, starts fingering her.
Yeah.
She comes and then he eats her out.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you for reassurance.
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, I think he also,
I believe so.
yeah.
I just remember him putting her in like a t-shirt and like throwing her out of the bath, and then they're doing stuff in the closet.
Oh yeah, he brings her back into the closet. That's when he eats her out, and that's when he comes on her.
She just took a bath. What are you doing?
This isn't what she wanted. Actually, no, it's funny because partway through the scene she goes, could we also kiss? Because they've never kissed before, which is what I'm saying of like, the lead up is insane where
Don't do this to me.
they weren't doing little smooches. They weren't having like tender moments.
No, they had one moment in the kitchen and then she got poisoned.
It's, for me, what works in like these romance novels is if you have tender physical moments before you do all this other nonsense here.
Mhm.
But what a lot of these books do is they have tender emotional moments and then they go bam into the hardcore sex of it all.
Yeah.
And it just feels unrealistic. And it feels ridiculous.
I get that there's only so much book, but if you're writing a romance book with a scene like this, then you need to have build up. Like there's no excuse not to have it.
And you're doing the arranged marriage trope. Why weren't there moments where he had to like hold her hand, or they're going to an event so he's like kissing her hand or putting his arm around her, that you could have these like ginger tender moments that is because of forced proximity, but they both enjoy it and they both like it.
Yeah.
And that's building tension for them. They're getting to a point where they are telling each other, I can't wait any longer. I need this now.
Yeah.
That makes way a better time for me personally.
Yeah.
Than something as ridiculous as, well, now I'm going to give you a bath.
Bathing
is so intimate,
he
too.
He ate me out before he kissed these lips before he kissed these lips.
That might have to go on the page.
Anyway.
Owen calls her in the middle of them doing all this shit on FaceTime, and he immediately realizes what's happening here.
Why'd she answer? Why did she answer? That's my biggest question.
It's gross because he's telling them, hey, this is nasty, you two are doing sex stuff, and they're looking at each other sexually in front of him. And I always hate that in books because it feels unrealistic and it's also gross to me.
In front of your sibling, too? Disgusting.
Freaking Lady Marley. Ain't a lady for a dude.
Yeah.
What is with these weirdos?
I don't know.
But I got it wrong before. It wasn't that. Serena's apartment is just now broken into. Owen's calling her to confirm, hey, Serena's apartment just got broken into. You should come and have a meeting with me. We should talk soon. But before they go to meet Owen, they touch base with Alex, who finds out a little bit more information about what Serena was delving into specifically with Anna. It turns out she met with a guy named Thomas Jalakis, who looks just like Anna. I realize I've been switching between Anna and Anna.
Same.
It's Liliana.
I think it's Anna because Anna's with two N's typically.
So a man who looks just like Anna and has this kind of like weird work history that Serena had met up with. He used to work with the Human Wear Relations Bureau, and he died in a car accident 2 weeks before Serena disappeared. So they believe that this man is Anna's father, and somehow he had a connection to Serena. Okay, awesome. Alex then also, in order to find more information on what happened between Thomas Jalakis, schedules a dinner for Misery and Lo to go meet up with Governor Davenport. Between this time and the next, they have themselves a steamy little sex scene. Basically, Misery and Lo are getting all cutesy and handsy with each other, and Misery wants to do the deed. She wants to have sex with Lo.
She wants to lose her virginity.
And Lo is saying, yeah, we can do physical stuff. And as they're getting into it, she brings up contraception. And Lo says, no, we don't need that. We're good.
Which that did, when I was reading it, I was like, what is he talking about?
It threw me off. I was about to freak out.
I was like, oh, Lo's going to be like, we don't need it, babe.
Yeah, I want to put a baby in you. And Misery's response to that is, well, I get that we're probably biologically not compatible, which off camera you went, I know they're going to have a kid because of that statement.
Yeah. Why are we bringing this up?
It's so obvious. But he goes, no, it's because we're not really going to have sex. Her response is, I think we can. Like, I don't think the physiology, the anatomy is that different. Lo even mentions that he's had sex with a human before.
Right.
She knows her body isn't that different from a human's. Why can't we do it? And he says, it's not that I can't, it's that I won't. And this is when we learn about nodding.
All you.
Okay, I'm not usually a prude like this, and nodding isn't that insane in terms of what the brass tacks of it is. It's just it's a taste. It's a taste thing.
Yeah.
For me, I'm very neutral about it, but I'm not gonna seek it out. If you're
Yeah.
familiar with ABO, like alpha, beta, omega type of fix, nodding happens a lot in it. It's something that happens out in the wild with wolves and dogs.
Sorry, you said out in the wild. I was like, with people.
With people.
Classic.
And essentially, what happens is, and just know that I didn't make this up. This is a thing that has already been in existence. So if you're repulsed, it's not by me. The sorry. The penis goes in once it comes.
You
the
got this.
Base of the penis. Thank you so much for your moral support. I'm gonna try this again. You have sex. You come in a woman. You have sex. You come in a woman. And then in order to make sure that the semen stays in that for biological purposes, the base of your penis inflates to sort of lock in all of that biological material. And don't look it up.
The material is great.
I did make my boyfriend do all this research because I really didn't want to get into it. But in exchange, I did have to see what it looks like on a real wolf. It's very strange. But this
Look it up.
So this is what happens with Lo, and he's explaining this to Misery. This is something that will happen if we do that, and I'm really worried that I'll hurt you because one, she's a virgin, like we talked about, and two, it's like a door. It's like a stopper, like a cork. Okay, got the cameras. I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. Okay. So, I don't know why this is making me laugh. This is hard. We're adults. We can talk about this in a clinical sense.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, I'm like, this is okay. Anyway.
If this is something that you enjoy in your materials, if you like
Yeah,
it,
what do you
that's fine. It is sort of a strange concept to have to explain to somebody. And when we wrote this book, we had one of our book club members.
we drew it.
We drew it for her, and she could not handle it.
We all had different ideas of what we thought nodding looked like, and we all drew it.
Yeah.
Oh no, we didn't draw it this time. That was
a different book.
Different
but
book.
we did explain what we thought it was.
Yeah.
Aaron was the only one who got it right because I think he was already familiar with it. I thought what they were describing is the tip of the penis expands.
Yeah. That's what what else happened? Like,
Again, like if we're doing a cork stopper type of thing, that's what I assume. But no, it's the base of the penis balloons. It's like the bulbus glandus is what it's called.
the bulby gland.
The bulby gland. So he's telling her this is what will happen if we engage in coitus. Okay.
That's crazy. Okay.
She's asking like actually good questions. Has this happened before? No. Okay, so then why is it a thing now? It only happens with certain people. She's starting to put the pieces together. Finally. She doesn't want to admit it yet because remember, she still thinks that he has a mate. So she can't get her head around the idea that maybe it's her. Mm-hmm. But she does recognize that a lot of what he's describing in many of their sexual scenarios are very specific to her.
Mm-hmm.
So they get kind of hot and heavy. She gives him a hand job. He comes on her and he like guides her hand to the knot. And that's it. That's what, like, we get an understanding of a jump scare, an understanding of his anatomy. Throughout this whole thing, he's saying really dirty stuff.
As he does.
That doesn't work for me personally. And she doesn't really say a lot back, actually. I'm thinking about it now. She doesn't do a lot of vocal, I'm into this. This rocks. It's mostly just him going, God, that's so sexy of you.
Just like that.
Well, at one point, one of the dialogue, it's so funny. She says, oh my God, it's your knot. To which he responds, say it again.
And you had brought up a really good point that it's just kind of like, saying penis. But
Say that again. Like he's saying it in a wow, that was really hot that you said that. I also couldn't help but think this scene in Twilight when he's behind Bella. Say it again. Nodding. So that's if that kind of sexual dialogue appeals to you, this is a good book to read. Which is why I'm like in my head I'm going, I know a good chunk of why I didn't like this book is I don't like Misery or Low. But also the writing isn't my favorite, so I don't know if I will like another Ali Hazelwood book. I would like to read another one just to I don't know.
Test it out. Test
it out or like not pass judgment on a very popular author based on one of her novels.
No, it's and I mean, to my understanding too, with her book, she doesn't normally do like a supernatural element. It just tends to be more just contemporary. We're two people.
We're in STEM. We're people in STEM.
Yeah.
Okay, so we learn about nodding.
We sure do.
They go to this dinner with Davenport. Lo roughs him up, and we find out that Davenport wanted Thomas Jalakis gone, and he died in that process because he was looking into embezzlement in Davenport's administration. Great. They meet up with Owen and Gabby.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, Owen is Misery's brother, and Gabby is the collateral for the wolves, and assumedly Lo's mate. In this conversation, we don't find any further information about Serena's apartment being broken into. There's like security footage, but they're still going through that. But we do find out that Owen wants to overtake his father as councilman. Yay!
Yay!
Throughout this whole novel, we get a lot of hints that Owen actually cares about his sister, but Misery, in her point of view, just assumes that he hates her and is a snide piece of shit.
I guess.
I don't understand because it's very obvious that he cares about his sister.
Yeah.
And when she asks, why do you want to do this? His response is, because of you.
Girl.
Like, you were collateral and I hated that. And then you're collateral again in this situation and I hate this for you.
Yeah.
I don't want this to ever happen again to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to broker peace between all of the alliances. I feel like her father has done so much to undermine that peace and is actually working against what the interests of the vampires are.
Yeah.
So Misery is shocked, blown
blown
away
away
by this revelation. Lo says that, if Owen wants to do that, he has the backing of the werewolves. Great.
Cool.
While she's getting information from Owen about his plan of attack, she's watching Lo and Gabby have a conversation. And I do kind of like this little moment where Gabby is talking about how being collateral isn't so bad. Mostly just Owen talks to her, everyone else ignores her.
Yeah.
And she gets to work on her dissertation.
Yeah, she's working on her degree.
And Lo is going, oh yeah, in whatever subject, to which she responds, no, in a different thing. How are you doing? I'm doing well. How about you? I'm pretty good. Yeah, things are going well. Very polite water cooler talk. And Misery realizes that's not his mate.
Mm-hmm.
Because if that was your mate, you would care way more.
Yeah.
She tells him that her old apartment is somewhere around here. He's like, oh, you want to go visit? Let's see how you lived. They get to her apartment. They have sex. Yeah, they have sex.
Yeah.
They have sex at her apartment. And this time, it is penetrative sex. Whereas before, everything was sort of like an OTPJ type of situation. This time, they're finally like really into it. It's very hot and heavy. He has sex with her. I guess they both have sex together. And he pulls out. So like we don't have the full nodding experience. This is, I think, the scene where he's getting really hard off the idea of her saying the word nodding. Yeah, there's some really cringy dialogue here about nodding.
Yeah.
And then after they're done with all that, Misery confronts him. Hey, what did I major in? And he immediately tells her, oh yeah, you were a computer science major with a minor in forensic psychology or forensic science. And she goes, okay, great. Gabby's not your mate. Gabby's not your mate because you didn't know anything about her. And he's confused.
I think it's kind of hilarious too that the telling is he didn't know her college major, but he knows mine.
Yeah, I mean, I do like that. It's like a weird way to catch somebody.
So strange.
In a lie. And again, Lo was confused about that. He's like, I never said she was. Misery goes, well, no, Governor Davenport told me that she was your mate. And he goes, oh yeah, we just said that as a lie because it had to be somebody important to me. And we didn't want to give up Anna, so
Mhm.
instead we just said, Gabby's my mate, sent her over there. But no, she's not my mate. To which I go, why don't you remember that in your little bank of everything?
Right.
Why are you suddenly confused that she assumes this about Gabby? But then two, Misery goes, okay, so then I'm your mate. I think I'm your mate. I'm your mate. Here's all the reasons that I think so.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, he's so mean to her.
For why?
For why? So he goes, oh, you got this all wrong. I think you made yourself more important than you think you are, like than you actually are. This was just sort of like a fun thing that we were doing. We were just fooling around, but I don't have feelings for you. You're not my mate. And the fact that you think that you're my mate is delusional.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't say it that way, but that's kind of what
That's
he's getting
the
at.
energy. Yeah.
Of, oh, you really think this about yourself?
Yeah.
I think you've completely misunderstood what we're doing here. And she's like, no, that's not fair. That's cruel.
Yeah.
You're doing this to push me away. Stop doing that. And he's like, that's
Mhm.
not what's happening here. You're not actually my mate. And he says it so convincingly to her that she believes it.
Mhm.
It's very unnecessarily cruel.
Yeah.
And it's a stupid third act miscommunication plot or like
Also,
conflict.
just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me why he's
His
cut
explanation
it
in the end, we
off.
can jump it into that too. It's like his explanation is, I know that you're the type of person who, if you knew that you were my mate, you would feel like indebted to me, or like you feel like you have to have that connection with me. And I don't want you to do that just because of me. I want you to do it because you care about me. But in this moment, she's saying, I love you. I want to
Uh-huh.
be with you. These are my feelings about you. Don't do this.
Right.
So then his whole point
Makes no sense.
makes no sense.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And it's not like, oh, you being my mate puts you at a disadvantage. You being my mate makes you more dangerous to the vampires.
Right.
People can use you. It's literally just, I know you so well, Misery. And when has she ever proven this about herself, by the way? That she puts others before her own needs? There has not been an example
I
in
guess,
this
like,
novel.
Her running out into the sun to go try to get Anna.
I guess, but I wouldn't say that's a strong enough thing to say that that's a character trait about her.
I think it is. I think it is just the small things that she has, or not small, but the
Mhm.
things that she has done of that. She went to Emery's with him to like plant the bug. There are things that she has done that, like, while I feel have semi helped her, it has been more so for him and the werewolf's sake.
Sure.
And that's where he's getting it. Again, I don't think it's enough, but I think those are the
Yeah.
instances that are supposed to have proven that to him about her.
Yeah, that's not enough for me. To me, it's like, it shows that she's a kind person,
Yeah.
but it doesn't. If she was the type of person who kept putting herself in if she had volunteered to be collateral the first time,
Mhm.
if she volunteered to be collateral again this time, not because of Serena, but because she felt it was for the good of the many. If that was something stuck in her head,
Right.
and he noticed that about her, then
it
him
makes
saying, I
sense.
don't want you to do something because you feel like you have to. I want you to do it because you love me.
Right.
That makes more sense. But she's just a kind person.
Yeah.
I guess any kind person. But again, she's like telling him, right?
Yeah.
I love you. I want to be with you. And in this moment, he's shutting her down
right.
very cruelly. He gets a call from a were saying something's happening back home. And he goes, it's too dangerous for you. I'll have somebody else pick you up. I'm going to go now. Leaves.
Incredible.
And to me, that felt so unforgivable.
Yeah.
But when they make up at the end, it wasn't enough. I would not want you to be with this man.
You guys had sex, and then he told you, you're not my mate, you're delusional, and then left you. No.
I would have rather this just have this scene of him showing her his not have been the same as the one from before, the hand job scene.
Right.
And then this was just them going to her apartment and her confronting him about being his mate.
Yeah.
It feels really cruel for them to have this insane intimate moment and
Right.
then shut her down.
Yeah. And going back to motivations and whatnot, rather than him being, like, oh, well, this is just like a wear thing and you don't get it and I don't want you to feel pressured by it. I feel like it would have been better for him to be like, hey, you have consistently been collateral on collateral on collateral. I don't want to make you feel like you are a prisoner again.
Yeah.
And ask her more about what she wants rather than just assuming. I know it's a romance book. There has to be some sort of misunderstanding, but it did feel very strange and kind of out of character even for him.
Right. And we talked about this a little bit before, that maybe the conflict for him internally is the fact that he can't believe that she's his mate.
Yeah.
And that misunderstanding makes sense to me, where he's saying like, no, you're not my mate. It's coming from his own denial,
Yeah.
not from what's happening in reality. And she's taking it as face value of like, okay, you're saying that I'm not your mate.
Right.
Fine. And again, that should have happened maybe earlier on in the story, or that's part of it. But him just
right now,
blatantly lying to her to avoid a weird assumption that he has about her,
right,
that has never once been proven. If we had a moment sometime in the story where, regardless of whether or not she liked somebody, she still did a selfless act, and he went, oh God, this is just who she is. If she was like Toru Honda from Fruits Basket, I would get him not telling her this.
Yeah.
But she's Misery Lark. She's never gonna be Toru Honda. Who I love. But yeah, they have this conflict. Mick shows up. He's the person to take her back, and she's obviously very friendly with him. He pulls out a syringe, sticks it on the back of her neck. Now she wakes up. She's had been drugged by Mick, and she's in an attic, and lo and behold, Serena is there. Serena has been kept in this attic. It's only been wares or somebody. Yeah, but she has, it's mostly just been like a group of captives who just drop off food, don't interact with her. She's been stuck in this attic, and they have a moment of bonding where they both kind of apologize to each other over this fight that they had. Serena was really worried that because of it, Misery wouldn't come looking for her, and they have a cute moment of, well, I didn't think that was an option, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
And then Misery goes, okay, well, now what do we do? Serena's like, well, you're here now, so there's two people. We can try to convince them to help us. Misery pretends to have an issue. A guard comes in to take a look at it. She's like, there's something in my eye. She tries to thrall him. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Which I don't like that. Because why are you introducing the idea of a thrall early on?
Yeah.
I'm thinking of it from a very like traditional, you're setting up with a loaded gun.
Yeah.
And you want him to go off at the end of the story. So you've shown me that you can do this thrall thing. And then I'm assuming it's going to come back and have a payoff later.
Yeah.
I would rather the reverse of she tried to thrall Max and it didn't work, and she's trying again this time
and it
does.
Yeah.
That would feel more satisfying, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
So they just have a good old fisticuff fight, and they do a switcheroony.
They like break his fingers or something.
And now he's in the locked attic area, and they're out, and they're leaving the chambers. They get through a pair of doors, and they realize they're in the nest. Uh-oh. They're actually in vamp territory.
Oh.
Vanya comes walking up.
Who could have guessed?
Who could have guessed that the big bad villain was the mustache twirler all along? Vanya comes up. She takes them to her father's office. And Mick is there with her father. Obviously, we know that Mick betrayed her. It's because the vampires were holding his son hostage. So he felt like he had to do this. And her father does a villain monologue. So I'm going to rattle off. So it turns out, actually what's happening here is Serena is half werewolf.
And that's why she was looking into Anna.
Yes, she was looking into Anna because she was trying to find somebody just like her. And she had learned about Thomas Jalakis and the fact that, you know, there might be a half werewolf, half human somewhere out there. Her father, by her, I mean Misery's father, knew about this the entire time. He knew that Serena was a half werewolf. He did not want anyone to know about that and wanted to be able to keep an eye on her, which is why she was then given basically to Misery as a companion so that he could watch out for her. We find out that she was poisoned by her father as an attempt to distract Lo, basically.
Yeah.
Her dad really wants to get his hands on Anna because he doesn't like the idea of a potential werewolf-human alliance.
Yeah. Yeah, he makes this point of, oh, well, if the humans and werewolves know that they can have children together, then there'll be more relationships between them, and therefore they'll have an alliance, and we won't.
Also, in my head, I thought he was going to reveal that he's actually been trying to make human vampire.
Yeah, which would make
race
sense
children.
because they have such a low population. So it would have made more sense for him to be like, I want to figure out how that works so that I can also see.
No, his evil plan is just, I got to kidnap 2 half werewolf, half human people and do something with them. Because they even say, are you going to kill them? Well, no, I just don't know how I'm going to use them yet. So I'm just going to keep them somewhere.
In the attic.
In the attic.
No, made no sense to me. It was also him riling people up with like the tensions between werewolves and humans and things like that. It's just, and I get someone's got to be the villain in all of this, but it made no sense of, if your biggest priority is to protect the vampires, wouldn't you want to try to find a way for all three to be in peace talks together? And in which case it makes sense if you were to want to find these people again for the half vampire, half human thing. Because now if you prove, well, half werewolves and half vampires are possibilities, then feasibly wouldn't that solve things for you as well? If you think that this ability between humans and werewolves is going to solve all their problems with one another, I just don't get it. I don't get the logic here.
Even him being like, yeah, I wanted you guys specifically to marry because I wanted to see if you could have
a werewolf
vampire kid. And unfortunately, I also, back to the border skirmishes thing. Yeah, exactly. We find out he's kind of manipulating them to fight each other. Shouldn't he have tried to manipulate the werewolves and the humans to fight each other so that the humans are more tied to their alliance with the vamps, or the werewolves want to have an alliance? Why then throw vampire bodies at the? It doesn't.
I don't know.
I don't really get it.
I don't either.
But just as we're trying to wrap our head around this ridiculous nonsense, Owen walks in with Lo. He's got him tied around his back. Misery goes, "Oh, I knew I should have never trusted you, my brother. You were evil the whole time." Make bets. Do you think he was? And her dad continues to be a real evil guy. He says, "Misery is your mate, and Mick told me." He's got
with a gun.
There's a knife against Misery's throat, and Misery's like, "No, I'm not his mate."
He told me he's not.
He said it's so, and Lo just gives her a sad smile.
Says nothing, which is
smile. So she realizes, oh, he lied to me. I am his mate, and now my dad wants to kill me. So he's saying, okay, either you give up the location of where your sister is, because Lo sent Anna away in hiding, and only Misery knows where she is. Not even his closest seconds know. She's with Cohen, Steph's favorite character in this book. She was complaining about him outside too.
What a fabulous choice to watch after a child.
I know. They're doing shots. She's like, what is this? Also, she's so precocious she can't pronounce misery. She says miracy. She says
she's 7, by the way.
She can say misery. So yeah, her dad is basically pitting Anna and Misery against each other. You have to pick one. If it's not Misery, I'll slit her throat right now. And in this moment, Serena uses their secret butterfly language to tell Misery that she actually can shift as a wolf.
Mm-hmm.
So Serena hasn't known this whole time. Just in the last couple of months, she's been seeing and experiencing things. So she can shift as a wolf. And then Misery says like a final goodbye to Lo. And during her final goodbye, she says, oh, you know the thing that Anna can't do? Well, tell her one day she can do it. And I guess Lo realizes.
Puts that together.
Oh, okay. So this girl's about to shift. This girl can shift. And they lock eyes and have like a mental countdown. And they both shift at the same time and take out all the vampires in the room. Because it turns out Owen wasn't a bad guy. Actually, Lo was never like contained. Owen just brought him in there to ambush their father. So they take out all the vampires. Serena shifted, and so Juno and her go off. All the werewolves show up. They're taking care of business. It's so okay.
Yeah.
We don't need to have a big drawn out fight scene, and I'm fine with that. It's just so silly to have this weird cryptic message and then the tandem shifting.
It just feels so theatrical in a way that's not satisfying.
Yeah.
In any way.
And it's done very quickly. Like they the both of them just take out all the vampires. Done. Lo calls in his werewolf buddies. They're there now to like help clean up the mess. Owen and Lo take Misery to go see her father. They have him like kind of bound up. Her father doesn't regret anything. Like, this is exactly what I wanted. And if I had a chance to do it again, I would do it again. Like, I don't regret anything I've done. Owen offers Misery the council seat. Like, you've done so much for people. Do you want it? I don't think they would like you, but like, it's yours to have. And she goes, no, I don't like the vampires.
What the hell are you talking about?
I've been very explicit about not liking these vampires since the beginning. She's very mean about them.
Yeah.
And then they ask her, like, what do you want to do with your father? Like, I think you have a right to decide what we should do with him. And her response is just, whatever you two decide, just don't tell me.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
All right.
Whatever. It's almost fucking over is what I wrote here. Misery and Serena make up. They have a cute little moment. They're both staying at the nest. Misery is like in a special room with a special vampire bed. This part really annoyed me because the whole time I'm thinking, why didn't they provide any accommodations to her? Like, I get her dad is a mustache twirling villain, but at least for the pretend, that's my daughter, I love her so much, take care of her because she's important to us.
Yeah, we need to make sure that they believe that we care about her.
It would make more sense to me if mustache twirling villain dad, from the very beginning of the book, is so sweet and doting on her. And at first she's really skeptical, but he keeps at it. And so she does assume, okay, I think he's trying to make amends. And he's saying it in that way of, I really apologize for like what I put you through in your childhood. And we didn't have much of a time to like bond with each other.
Yeah.
So that when we get to this point, it feels a little bit more like a betrayal than just my evil dad did the evil thing the whole time.
Yeah. As if anyone's shocked by that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's why Owen is like being snide and keeping her at a distance, because he doesn't understand what's happening between his father and her.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Okay. So her and Misery make up. Serena and Misery make up. They then decide to head over to Ware territory because Owen says, hey man, you have done everything you need to do. Go wherever you want. I don't care. Just keep in contact with me because I'm your brother and I love you. She goes to Ware territory, drops Serena off with Juno because I guess they're friends now, goes to Lo's place because technically she still lives there, goes to her room. The boxes are packed in this room. She thinks, oh great, he's like kicking me out. He comes in, he's surprised to see her there. They make up. His explanation for why he lied to her was essentially, I didn't want you to feel beholden to this mating thing. So if you didn't want to be here, you didn't have to, which she kept saying she did. Turns out the boxes, everything's in a box because they're replacing the windows.
They're getting the special glass.
Yeah, the special glass windows that allow vampires to like be able to stand in a room with light in it, which is great. La-di-da, they make up. They're all happy in the end. Mick and his son are on probation, but I don't think anything comes of that. They have sex. They have sex properly this time. On the bed with him nodding. So he does finish inside her. It does not. And then it's just in there. Like she falls asleep. Yeah. She falls asleep after they finish. She wakes up and I think he's still
in there.
He's still in there.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah, you were out for like 30 minutes. You're just sleeping.
Who's got all this time to be laying around like this? The alpha?
Well,
the werewolf pack?
They make a joke where she's saying, my schedule, I'm a nighttime girly, you're a daytime guy, and also you're busy being the werewolf alpha. Let's make a schedule, like 30 minutes a day. And he goes, well, more like 2 hours. And yeah, of course 2 hours, because there's like a good like pass out time built in here. You can't
hour wind down.
Oh, gosh, but I guess stuff makes sense. They say a bunch of weird scent stuff again. Like scent is so important to these guys. And so Misery wants to take a shower before she goes and sees her friend downstairs. Lo goes, no, I don't think I can handle that. I think I need to have my scent on you the whole time. And I think I can't take my eyes off you for the next couple of weeks. It's not how this works. So they take a shower together so that he can keep his scent on her. It's, to me, okay.
And I throw up.
To me, the problem here isn't this primal scent thing. I get it. You want to smell like your partner or something. It's the fact that he keeps saying so that other people can smell it on you. It's a lot of, I want everyone to know that you're mine.
Yeah.
I don't want to
but it's
smell
not
your stank sex body.
I'm going, ew, yucky.
It's a cultural exchange, surely, that the wares are all fine with it because it seems as though it's something that's innately intrinsic to like their sexuality. Because it seems as though his seconds don't care. The people around them don't care, besides the fact that she's a vampire. If she was a werewolf, I'm sure everyone would go,
oh, you got some.
I, as a human being, don't like it.
No. Also, I'm so sorry. This is completely off topic, but I forgot one of the parts of the novels that I just had to like lay on the floor and like beat my fist against the ground. So we talk about how Lo has insomnia, right?
Yeah.
And there's one point where he goes, yeah, Anna like dealt with a bout of insomnia for a while, and I just scratched her scalp and that got her to sleep. And so Misery scratches his scalp and he goes to sleep. And I go, that's not how insomnia works. I fear. I know that we wanted this to be a tender moment because we need more of those in this book, but I felt I was visibly upset reading that passage.
This book handles like not this book. A lot of authors will handle things like insomnia or depression as one and the same, where one half of it is like physiological. Some people just have that in their bodies. They are insomniacs. And some people it's an anxiety, depression, stress thing. And so if we're doing the route of like Lo has just been really stressed ever since he became alpha. It's not something he wanted to do, but he had to become alpha.
Right.
And his insomnia has started since then. Then I get the idea of over time being with Misery relaxes him, and we can do a slow thing of they spend time together and he feels more chill, feels more relaxed. And then finally she tries this thing on him and it does make him fall asleep. But it's like the first ever time.
And it's immediate. It's like she starts scratching his head and he's out.
I'm conked out.
Sorry, had to throw that one in there.
Well, I think that very much fits with a lot of how quick the build up for so much of this book is.
Yeah.
Of, okay, well, I learned this thing and I'm going to apply it and everything's solved now.
Yeah.
There's no trial and error. There's no faux pas on her part either. Besides the Max situation, there's no, I got this understanding of werewolves wrong and it's bit me in the ass, not to, no pun intended or whatever. There's no like miscommunication of culture either, of I was given a dossier on werewolf culture and I'm trying to apply it to make you guys like me, and it turns out I'm doing a really bad job.
Yeah.
But it's not her fault. It's because somebody gave her bad information, whatever it might be.
Right.
Everything she does is correct and right.
Yep.
And it always works out perfectly the way it's supposed to work out.
Yep.
She makes no mistakes, and honestly, good for her.
Yeah.
What a great way to live.
And the only people who do make mistakes are the bad people.
Oh yeah, exactly. And her
Which
allies.
is a wild message to be
giving. Let's waterboard a child. And she has to be like, no.
Hey.
Let's hypnotize him instead.
Yeah.
The last chapter of this novel is from Lo's point of view in third person. They're decorating Anna's room for her arrival. She shows up. They go downstairs. Cohen is there making quips. He sees Serena. Lo recognizes what's happening to him in this moment. Serena is his mate. Story ends.
Hate. I don't need two best friends to date two best friends. Okay? I don't need that.
I was about to say
In a book, I don't need that.
For context, our boyfriends are best friends.
We've known each other since childhood.
I know. And we all, we met separately and we're best friends, and they met separately and they're best friends, and it's okay.
In a book, it's just too much. No. Everyone can't have a storybook life like us. I can't. I hate to see it.
I thought it was gonna be Alex. I knew that there was gonna be some sort of mate thing with Serena, just because of tropes. Like I kind of saw that coming for some reason. I can't say the author made it obvious, but in my head I was like, I think this is what's gonna happen.
It felt pretty obvious, yeah.
Yeah. But I thought it was gonna be Alex because when they first introduced Alex, she keeps saying he's cute, he's sweet, I like him, he's my favorite, ha ha ha. He's scared of me, but he'll get used to it. Yeah. And just by the nature of the way she was describing it. And I liked Alex. I thought Alex was a really lovely character. And him and Misery already have kind of a friendship. Yeah. So him kind of falling for Serena would have been a very cute story. Yeah. But I think from what I gather of what I've heard of Ali Hazelwood, masculinity is really important to her male characters. Yeah. So Cohen is like the big bad alpha of a different pack. And so the alpha has to be the one to be with her werewolf friend. Sure. Which I don't care for because like you said, I don't even know Cohen. I get it's setting up for like another book. Yeah. I don't care about him though. I don't care. I like Alex. Make it Alex. Right. Change it to be Alex. Or Owen. I thought for a second too. I
liked
Owen.
The idea of her and Owen getting together.
I know. This is gonna sound so mean. I knew he wasn't gonna be her love interest when Misery drops his receding hairline. No,
it's true though. It's true.
It sucks, yeah. But I like the idea of her being with him, and then there's like tension because it's her best friend's brother.
Yeah.
And again, vampire werewolf.
Or what an interesting setup of, hey, I like Owen, we are having this thing, and then maybe Cohen does come along and he is her mate and she decides to reject that and be with Owen. I could write your next book. No, I'm just
Actually,
kidding.
in fact, Ali Hazelwood, do that before Stephanie Meyer does it.
Oh,
Do it before Stephanie Meyer does it. The vampire werewolf love triangle. The story ends with a different character's plot. It doesn't end with the two of them having a cute moment. I guess if we don't consider Lo's POV, it ends with them saying a bunch of weird sex stuff, which we talked about this a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't like it when a book ends on a sex scene.
No.
It's not satisfying to me.
No. Especially when they've had sex so many times in this book.
I'm a reader who, for me, the romance novel needs to center around the emotional connection.
Yes.
The physical aspect is an addition.
It's an extra.
It's
Yeah.
an extra, but I'm not reading a book specifically just to read a sex scene.
Yeah.
And so, again, maybe I'm the wrong audience for this. But I prefer it when it ends with a conclusive resolution to their emotional story arc.
Yep.
And this book ends truly with the introduction of somebody else's story arc, and I don't like that either.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
I think it sucks.
Yeah. Especially because it's two characters that it's like we have seen so little of them the entirety of the book, so why would I care about them?
Right, exactly. We don't get an understanding either of what that conflict is going to look like. We just are introduced to two characters and they go, to be continued.
Yep.
And that was Bride.
That's
by Ali
Bride.
Hazelwood. Any final thoughts here?
When I get you, Lo, when I get you.
Let's recap there, though, because Misery and Lo's relationship, for Lo's end, really comes from sort of a physical thing and the fact that she's not like other girls because nobody likes her. And Misery
He likes them underdogs.
and I think a lot of Misery's affection for Lo, even though it's not explicitly stated, is somebody likes me.
Yeah.
Somebody likes me,
Yeah.
and that's nice to feel.
I think that's where the book failed though, right? Because again, we're basing it off of like
Sorry.
Lo knows that she's his mate and that's why he likes her, and
Mhm.
Misery has never been treated nice by someone, so that's why she likes Lo, and those are really weak reasons to like another person.
Misery and Lo, they don't really have a lot in common. Lo has like the burden of obligation on him. Misery doesn't really feel that because she actually has obligation placed on her.
Right.
They don't really connect over that though.
No.
They don't have, again, no common interests, not the same type of lifestyles, not a lot of the same like moral connection. I want a better word there, but the only thing that's connecting them is the fact that they had to get married,
Yeah.
and I think they have a physical connection and then they're mates,
Yeah. That's it.
which is so weak to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really weak to me.
Yeah.
It's
And we've said with Lady for a Duke that like romance is the most important part of a romance book. So if the romance isn't good in a romance book, it's hard to feel good about the book or
Yeah.
satisfied with the book.
their sexual chemistry is one thing, but every other aspect of their connection, and this is taking place within the span of maybe 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, it's pretty quick.
It's pretty
Oh,
quick.
no. Because Serena's gone for a month by the time Misery has married Lo.
Yeah.
When Misery runs into Serena again, it's been 3 months.
Oh,
So it's 2 months.
2 months.
So still very quick, but not.
Okay, you know what? Fair enough. I
I
take
take
everything
everything
back.
back.
It's all fine. I don't know. It didn't work for me. It didn't work for me.
It didn't work for me either.
If it worked for you though, can you tell me why? I'm not trying to
Yeah.
be rude about that. I'm genuinely asking you, is it just because you like these character archetypes and it's you enjoy seeing them interact with each other, or did you really enjoy the sexual chemistry between these characters?
Yeah.
Because I, for the life of me, could not wrap my head around their romance. Weirdly, it felt like she was more romantic towards Serena.
Yeah.
Because she would say things like, Serena is the love of my life. If I could marry her, I would. Or we made jokes about marrying each other.
Yeah.
Nothing is more important to me. She is my soul. She is my heart.
I literally entered an arranged marriage to save Serena.
Yeah. And I'm not saying I want this to turn gay. I'm just saying that the passion there for somebody, I'm not seeing that in Lo.
Yeah.
For her and vice versa.
Right.
So Okay, yep, that was read by Ali Hazelwood.
That's that.
Yeah.
So this is our vampire month, which is really exciting for us. So we have another video where we're going to be talking about Vampires of El Notre, which is by Isabel. I looked up how to say her last name and I totally know how to say it, and I'm just getting very shy about saying it because I'm gonna potentially butcher it, but it's Kanya, Isabel Kanya. So we're reading that. We're doing that for our additional episode, and then we have a very fun Twilight Patreon episode that we're going to be doing.
I can't wait.
If you like listening to us, you can find us on YouTube or Spotify. You can also follow us on our various socials such as Patreon, Instagram, TikTok. To get all of those different social links, we have a link tree on Instagram that you can find us at all of the other different places that we're at. Is there anything else I'm missing?
And again, this was our book club pick of the month. So if you want to be part of our book club, we have a Discord. Am I saying book club? Okay, if you want to be part of our book club or our book club, we have a Discord that you can access through our Patreon. It's completely free to join. We have a lot of fun discussions there. We do like a forum for each book that we read. We like to talk about what we think the characters would look like through Pick Crew, or we like to talk about the music that they might enjoy. Lo is listening to, what is it, Butt Rock?
Dad Rock?
Dad Rock.
I mean, Butt Rock is also kind of a thing.
Yeah, I think in my head, Lo is listening to that.
Lo's blasting Creed.
Yeah.
Oh,
What is Misery listening to, though, do you think?
Oh, like Paramore, Evanescence, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Again, she's Ebony Darkness.
Yeah, Raven.
So, My Chemical Romance.
Yeah. I'm glad we didn't do a playlist for that. Sorry. Not sorry.
I'm doing a playlist.
You know, like, yay! And if you have suggestions, join the Discord so you can add stuff to that playlist. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and happy reading.
See you soon.
See you soon.